Yours truly, Law Nation Sports. And as the room fill up, be sure to smash upon the like button. Let's get it. This might be a long episode. It might be a long episode indeed, due to the fact of the topic. I got some audio that I want to go over. So pull up. Come on. Let's get it. How to measure Cowboys Rain Dakota Prescott before extending him. Not downstairs. Let's go. Mama said there'll be days just like this. Be sure to be a part of the notification squad. Swat up, and happy Friday to you. And you. And you. And you. Hey. Dak analysis. Appreciate you so much, Brady. Come on. Ain't no party like a cowboy party. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Let's get it. All right. I hope all is well. Appreciate each and every last one of you all for tuning in. The name is Law Nation. Jay Verzik, appreciate you. He says Kool-Aid Law. Appreciate you, man, for your support. The Dak analysis. I love it. Gina, appreciate you. All right. So I don't know if we're going to measure it as Kool-Aid, but as you look at a measuring cup, let me see if I can Photoshop one in live. Let me see if I can do that. If you think of a measuring cup, it do have layers to it. So give me 1 second. Let me see if I can put this up there. Boom. Here we go. And we're going to zoom it in right here. Let's do it this way. Type in the chat if you guys can see that cup to the right of me, or to the left of me, technically. All right. So we're going to measure him by 4 being the highest, 3, 2, and 1. 1 being the lowest would be the measuring of how we're gonna play this little game, of how to measure Dak Prescott. So 4 meaning that you're going to extend him, right? You're going to make sure that you recoup some of the money and put it towards somewhere else. 4 in the chat if you want to extend them. 2 in the chat if you kind of like, I'm not really needing to see any more. I'm halfway in with him. I'm in the middle with Dak Prescott. 1 would be, nah, Lord, let's just get this man out of the way. Let him play on this last year of his contract. Let's just not even extend this boy. Let's just sit back and just enjoy the 1 cup, right? But 4, and let me know where you stand too. Some people, look, some people, you could type 3. That means that your cup is not all the way high on Dak and you're not all the way low on Dak. You're not even in the middle, right? You understand. You sitting back saying, I need to see Dak Prescott, at least with Mike McCarthy, right? And Brian Schottenheimer, right? Before I can do anything else. And then maybe around October, November-ish, I put another cup in there and it'll be 4, right? I only got 3 cups on Dak, So here's how I look at it. You know me, I'm 4-cup law, right? I'm 4 cups on Dak right now, and I feel like the Cowboys should go ahead and extend. I have no ill wills to anyone that's 1 cup on Dak. Some people might say, man, I got no cups left, Law. I got no cups at all. So we're going to go over this, man, and put it like this. We all family. So whether you are 1 cup, 2 cup, 3 cup, or 4 cups. You know what I'm saying? We all still going to want this team to win. There should be nobody in here saying we don't want to win at all. No. That shouldn't be the case in the scenario. All right, so pull out your umbrellas because I got my guy, Norm Hiskips,
Gus, some massive contracts the Cowboys are going to have to give out, and they've literally got 3 years to do this. The first one is Trayvon Diggs.
We're going to talk about all of it.
He's got to be done after this year or franchise him. And the second one is CeeDee Lamb. They've already picked up his fifth-year option, which takes them through the 24 season. So they have a built.
That joker said 24. That's my guy Norm, man. Y'all leave Storm and Norm alone, man. All right, let me make sure I get this. I know he filled that cup all the way just by saying 4th year. But we're going to listen to it's going to get to the good part, and then we're going to switch over to the other audio. But hear me out. This is from 1310 The Ticket. Let's get it.
Built-in buffer there a little bit. Dak must be done by 2024 because his salary cap number next year jumps to $59.5 million. Cowboys can't have that. And Mike Parsons, they can pick up his fifth-year option, which will take them through 2025. But
every 5 were the 5th. All right, I'm gonna stay focused, y'all. I'm gonna stay focused, man. Y'all rolling with me, man. Come on, let's go.
Give you some idea of the salary impact coming. Leave Dak to the side for a moment.
Just
this
for a moment.
year, Diggs, Lamb, and Micah will play for a collective $14.8 million.
Yeah. That's going to change pretty quick.
All right, so shout out to Norm and appreciate you. Here we got Jay Versick says, do Norm have front teeth law? I don't know, and I'm not finna go ask him either. Shout out to him. All right, so I told you guys to pull out your umbrellas. Now, it was up to you on whether or not you pull out your umbrellas. But here's the thing. As he said, $59 million. If you don't extend Dak Prescott, you're going to have to be one of those situations whereas you 1 cup. You got 1 cup, and that will equals you not extending Dak Prescott. So are you willing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone that's listening, to handle Dak Prescott with 1 cup all this year to absorb the $59 million next season? And with the opportunity to be able to not, it was really not opportunity, but to be able not to pay Diggs, Lamb, Parsons. You see, it's crazy. You got to pay in order to keep. That's the craziest thing of it all. Let's go.
And what effect is it going to have on the rest of the roster?
Well, do I sound okay? Does this thing sound weird? Okay. No. Maybe it's just in my ears.
I ask that question every day.
That dude threw some shade at him, but keep going.
So it's interesting because obviously you got to look at it from a larger picture. And I just wrote something about this at The Athletic a couple days ago, which is kind of talking about the 4-year conveyor belt of talent. And that is how you handle 40% of your cap. So very quickly, just to explain, whatever the cap is, this year it's 225 about.
Right.
You take 60% of the money, whatever 60% of 225 is, and you could pay your top 8 to 10 players that money, the 60%.
Right. The 60%.
And then the other 40% goes to the other 45 players on your roster. And those guys are all almost on. They're your working class. They're your draft picks on the 4-year rookie contract conveyor belt, or they're sometimes veterans who are special teams guys or something along those lines. And so that group of 8 guys who take 60% of your entire cap are always going to be your quarterback and your high-end players. And what you're laying out here is the situation where we're going to be moving out several of those top 8 and replacing them with guys who are coming off their rookie deals. And that's why we get the whole conveyor belt thing. So off is Ezekiel Elliott.
Right.
Off will be Tyron Smith.
True.
Who are some other guys? Amari Cooper is gone, of course. And
will at the end of 2 to
Collins.
3 years, DeMarcus Lawrence be one of them?
Oh, most certainly. In fact, his number has gone down to keep him around. Zach Martin is going to be at the end here in the next 2 or 3 years, you would think, or at least his deal will expire. So they were able to actually fit Brandon Cooks in here, partly because the Texans took some of his money. But Brandon Cooks is technically your second biggest earner this season. Although, like I said,
the Cowboys did a wonderful way of – he's only counting, I believe, about $3 million against the cap or 6, something like that. It's crazy, and it is crazy. My guy Chris Blunt on the Facebook, appreciate you, man. He says, I'm tired of Dak trash. So this is the thing. The solution, Chris, will be don't extend him and take the $59 million hit. So it's one way or another. Either it's damn if you do, damn if you don't, right? Basically. And it's a hard thing to look back at and say, if you don't like Dak, if you don't want him around, the very much so thing to keep him around would be to extend him and take less of a blow. Unless you want to take all of the blow and probably still lose out on Trayvon Diggs. I think that, re-signing CeeDee Lamb without a quarterback is like putting a cart in front of the horse, right? So it's a crazy conundrum that the Cowboys are in. And that's why I said, I think someone called yesterday and we said, which one do you pay first, your mortgage or your car note? And most people agree, you go ahead and pay your mortgage. Dak Prescott is a mortgage, and it's one of those ones whereas you can't trade out of it because he got the no trade clause on it, and you can't even fall back to even at the end of the contract to even put him on a franchise tag because he got a no tag clause on his contract. So either way, you're gonna have to take the blunt of the blow. So by being one cup measured, you are in a very strange place. Let's listen more to what they have to say.
Texans are paying most of that bill. But if you just look at that group, right now it's Dak, Cooks, Zach Martin, DeMarcus Lawrence, Tyron, Michael Gallup, Tony Pollard on a franchise tag.
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
Isn't the large red circle with the line across it on Michael Gallup this season?
Whew.
Doesn't he have to truly produce significant numbers?
There's no doubt. I didn't look at what his guarantee was. Have you guys taken a look at the guarantee on his 5-year deal? I'm trying to remember what it was off the top of my head. He was very poor last year, so much so that Noah Brown was a better wide receiver than he was, and he's acknowledged that, and they rushed him back.
27 guaranteed.
Okay, so 27 guaranteed means that years 1 and 2 are pretty much the extent of it.
Is it? Yep.
I guess going into year 3, what is there, like $5 million in dead money if you let him go?
Year 3 will be 13. Year 4 will be 8.7.
Oh, okay.
Year 5
all right.
will be 4.3.
Well,
Yeah. So
Okay.
so with my guy Michael Gallup, it's a baby version of what most people are looking at with Dak Prescott, right? So now we talking about $60 million, $27 million guaranteed, and now you're talking about, okay, even if you wanted to cut him, you're going to have to eat all of that. So it's better to what's that saying? It's better to keep her. So it's better to stay with Gallup and hope that he would turn the corner. And I truly believe that coming off of the ACL situation, and he should be a whole lot further advanced than what he was last season, right? And he should give us better production. You know, he should be less worried in his mind. And he said it. He came out and said, hey, I had that reservation in my mind. And nothing is like playing at, 40 to 50% or not trusting your moves as a wide receiver. It's so important to plant your foot, jab step, sink your weight, sink your hips, and then shoot out of there, right, for that open spot. But when you overcompensate for it, you will go like this, and you won't give that extra juke at the top of your route. And then that's when routes are dictated. That's when, as DBs like me, that's when our eyes get big and we start salivating and saying, oh, yeah, it's going to be a pick city because I know where he's going. He's rounding his routes, right? That's even with bigger wide receivers. That if you sitting on a route and you see even a bigger wide receiver and he turns like this and he rounds his route, shoot, you undercutting that, jumping it all day, right? So Gallup gave us some good explosive games, right? And then he gave us some wee-woo games, in the words of my guy, Balls Cowboy. So hopefully this season, the offensive coordinator will say, although your leg is back, dog, I'm not even finna have you to shift your weight on a hitch route. I'm not even finna have you to stop your momentum that will put more pressure on your knees and your lower body extremities, right? I'm going to put you on some shallows, some drag, some underneath stuff. I want to keep you in motion. A body in motion stays in what? Can y'all put that in the chat? A body in motion. Come on, somebody. I know y'all quick with it. Stays in motion. Come on. Somebody put it in the chat. Please help the brother out, man. Come on. I got 4 cups over here. Come on. A body in motion. Stays in motion. Appreciate y'all. So we want to get our guys in that space, right? And I tell young DBs all the time, even when you're playing close to the wide receiver, try to keep them inside your cylinder, right? Knock them off of their particular route, but you want to keep them inside, right? So you extend, right? So that you can get some type of feel, right? So you can stay focused and fixated. Okay, this is where their hips is going. This is where they open up. And as soon as they open, you are already there because you are in phase with them, right? So, but a body in motion, right, stays in motion, which kills the situation for us as defensive backs, right? Inertia, right? I see you, Jake. So what we're trying to do here as DBs, you like it. You like it when the wide receivers stop their feet, right? You like it when they come back off of a play and you still gaze in on their hips because now you can take the ball away. Now you can go and get said football, right? And take it to the house or knock them off the route. Knock them off the marker, right? So there's so many things that you can pick up on when a wide receiver stop his feet, right? And DBs, don't stop your feet.
So, Norm, now we have to introduce the other part of it, is that the Cowboys accounting department does either a very shrewd or a very frustrating job of not laying out these contracts normally. And so you get what you get with Dak's deal, where Dak has a 4 for 160. That's very easy math for any of us to say 40, right. 40, 40, 40.
40, 40, 40.
But instead,
the guarantees
they backload it.
Yeah.
And so by the end, Sports Center is telling everyone that his cap number is actually 60, and there's no way he's good enough to justify that, and therefore he's an overpaid player, and isn't this horrible? Well, the reality is the Cowboys chose to do that. They made a deal with him and basically.
So with that being said, let's kick over to the other audio here. And shout out to the opening drive. They did a wonderful job this morning on my way of taking care of some business this morning. I got a chance to listen to their episode and dropping the kids off. Y'all know how that goes. I'm a family man, dropping the kids off, taking care of that busy work early this morning. I got a chance to listen to those guys from the outside. We just heard, we hear all the time, 105.3 The Fan. Shout out to all of the Tolos out there. Turn it on, leave it on. And then rarely I played some of 1310 The Ticket as well. They real raw over there in 1310 The Ticket. I seen people literally hit me up and say, man, 1310 The Ticket, a whole lot better than 105, because those boys at 1310, they going to give it to you, All right, so, but by me listening now to Sirius, we're going to bring in their philosophy and their thoughts. They don't watch the Cowboys closely like these other two stations, but these guys, they know some football. They know how this thing goes, and we're going to see how to measure Dak Prescott. So if you guys are okay with the episode so far, give me a thumbs up. If you guys want me to continue, we can go. Can the mods do me a huge favor? Can you guys let me know how many we got in here? Let me see if we take care of some busy work here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in and being part of this beautiful episode. And we're going to get this one going. Y'all want me to keep going on this beautiful Friday? Because this may be a long episode because there's a lot of content, a lot of audio that we got to go over. Appreciate everybody, man. I really thank y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. To the moon and back. All right, let's listen to this audio. Let me know if y'all can hear this.
I think that if you didn't light it up last year or have an MVP season at the quarterback position, what are we doing? Re-signing our quarterback to a new contract when he's already operating on such a large deal. He's set to turn 30 in July, and Prescott is not in the top echelon of NFL quarterbacks like a Patrick Mahomes or a Joe Burrow. So what gives here with the reporting that Prescott is about to get a new contract extension?
All right, so this is from their thoughts. He's about to get this new contract extension, right? And we all banging on the table saying, hey, you better hurry up before Pat Mahomes get his, before Joe Burrows get his. I think is Josh Allen due to a new extension? Y'all let me know. The name of the game is to get there in front, right? I think the Eagles, and I'm giving them a spoonful of credit right here. I give them 1 cup of credit right here since we measuring. I truly believe that the Eagles did a wonderful job of making sure that they got in front of Jalen Hurts with his money before Joe Burrows, before Lamar got his bag. I really applaud them for that little thing right here. Now I don't want y'all to think that we over here giving too much praises to him. If you think that,
you stupid.
No, we are not trying to say that they are better in that area, but it is wiser to get in front of it instead of being behind it, right? Because think of it like this. Lamar Jackson just got his bag, got his coins. If he got it in front of it, then Eagles, Jalen Hurts camp can say, hey, their quarterback took their organization and franchise to the Super Bowl. Yes, Lamar been MVP, but he never been to the Super Bowl. And they would have to now get paid more than what Lamar got, right? So that's just how it goes. It's better to get in front of it instead of behind it. All right, so let's listen to more what they have to say.
Yeah, you have to look at the big picture, and I don't know if it's fair to say or not, but should a quarterback be measured on, because statistically, except for last year, and we were talking about during the break, the higher interception total, and that's not always on the quarterback when you look at the interceptions. Sometimes, as you stated, Sully, that the receiver may have let the DB jump in front of him, and all of a sudden it's an interception, but it's not the quarterback's fault. It should be placed on the receiver. But you have all these stats, and statistically speaking, he's very good. But do you measure a quarterback based on the statistics or based on how far the team is able to advance in the playoffs, or if that quarterback wins a Super Bowl, because to me, that's a totally different story that you're talking about then.
All right, so good question here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. How do you measure the quarterback? Based off of stats? And, stats could be misleading, right? I'm just telling you guys 1,000 truths, right? Stats could be misleading. Or stats could be the tell-all be-all. Or do you measure the quarterback by how far a team advanced in the playoffs? Choose your words wisely, ladies and gentlemen. Choose them wisely because, and I like what my guy said. Somebody said, hold on. Let me make sure I get my Hooked on Funny guys together. Hold on. I think Darrell says you base those numbers on the context of the game. I have to give him that one, Darrell. MVP chat right there, man. Appreciate you, Darryl. Yeah, you got to go by the context, right? And truth be told, those are things that a lot of people run from, right? A lot of people say, I want to know the truth, Law. I want to know if I'm coming here, will you be this guy that's going to tell us the truth, or will you be one-sided with this? No, I'm telling you guys the truth. And it may come off bad, harshly, impartial, but the truth. No one loves the truth. No one absolutely want to know everything, right? Right? People going to want to know the good stuff only. And the truth is the hardest pill to swallow, right? So here's my thoughts on this. Within context. Why, Law? Well, what if I told you in the last 10 years, Jimmy Garoppolo in the playoffs been more successful than Aaron Rodgers, right? Do that mean that Jimmy Garoppolo is better? No. It all goes into context. What team he played for, how the offensive coordinator was able to design and come up with a plan of action. But if you look at it from the outside looking in, you say, man, hey, this dude won multiple playoff games, been to a Super Bowl appearance. Aaron Rodgers haven't done that in over 15 years, 13 years or something like that, right? So context do matter. Let's listen to more what they have to say and get this thing going the best way possible.
You can have all these gaudy stats, but if you're not advancing in the playoffs, is that good enough to be your quarterback going forward?
See, and the guy just went, Darryl must have heard this episode early that morning, right? So when we talk about gaudy stats and we talk about stat kings and things like that, Dak Prescott stats, unbelievable as it relates to what he's able to do on the field. And, of course, in the last two seasons, well, last year we didn't get a chance to see fair, just use of Dak Prescott. Why? Because he broke his thumb, right? Nobody is going to bring that up, by the way. But when we look at the 2021 year, his stats right there with Pat Mahomes and, dare I say, Aaron Rodgers. Around 40 touchdowns to 10 to 11 INTs, right? They won 12 games, give or take, made it to the playoff. In one game, out one game, one and done, basically. So the same could be said with Aaron Rodgers that year, too. So where the line draws from there is also we look at the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they fooled around and had some good numbers and stats and things like that year, and they got bounced up out of the playoff by, I believe that was the year Burrows, right? They got bounced out by Cincinnati. And the year before that, they made it to the Super Bowl with good stats, and they made it all the way to the Super Bowl, and the quarterback only put up 9 points. One all pointed their fingers at the fact that it was because the offensive line. So they regrouped and rebuilt their offensive line. Literally took them 2 years to do such, right? And just last season, or just this season, they lifted up another Lombardi trophy. But they were all 4 cups in for their quarterback. But let's listen to more what these guys have to say.
I think the metrics, I think you have to parse those out. For instance, I think you've got to look at how the quarterback is performing. I think there are certain metrics where you can measure his performance. I think a lot of people look at touchdowns, they look at interceptions. They see this moniker next to Dak Prescott's name that he was tied for the league with 15 interceptions last year. But I could tell you at least half a dozen of those interceptions were going toward the receiver, and on a crossing route, the receiver goes behind the defensive back as opposed to cutting across the face of the defensive back, which is every quarterback, when he throws it, he's got to throw it early, right? We call that being highly anticipatory. And so you've got to trust that the receiver is going to stay the course. And so teams and ownerships, they are astute. As you well know, as a general manager, you've got to be astute enough to evaluate your player and understand, okay, something didn't go right here. How much of that is the quarterback's fault? How much of that is the receiver's fault? How much of that is the protector, quarterback protection fault? And you've got to be able to really evaluate and parse that responsibility out appropriately. If you're going to evaluate whether or not you're going to pay a certain player, you've got to be able to do that. And so once you're able to parse that out and you say, okay, here's what the evaluation looked like. The 15 interceptions were really more like 10. Okay. Now, how far did my team go? When I get to the playoffs, I'm evaluating that performance and say, okay, what was his performance? What was the defense performance? Oh, we lost our star player and no one else could pick up the slack. Tony Pollard goes out. We had no explosive playmakers in the game.
Man, this dude's speaking the truth right there. So, all right, so when we say, is, hey, Law, you giving excuses, right? When an analyst says it, and a guy who I think he actually played the game, when he says it, hey, all right, now let's level with this. Okay, let's level with this. Cowboys heading into last season, they got rid of Amari Cooper. God dog, man, Amari Cooper, and they lost Cedric Wilson. I think they lost him to free agency, right? We elevated my guy CeeDee Lamb from being the number 2 option he was number 2/1 option for 2021. But we all had to understand that there will be some growing pains in 2022 to be elevated to being the absolute number 1 big dog in the house, right? So we elevated him, and we thought that there would be no law of diminishing rates of return. No, the law steps in and say, hey, you're going to lose out on missing Amari Cooper. You're going to lose out on missing Cedric Wilson. Both of those boys were a good staple piece for this offense the previous year. Why, Law? Do you have any facts to it? Yes, 1,400 yards. Write that down. 14 touchdowns. Passer rating when targeted. Write this down. 122. Both of them collectively. And I think that even Cedric Wilson passer rating when targeted was like 130. But combined, it was like 122. Those levels of production gone from the table. Could Noah Brown fill in some of those shoes? Yes, he could fill in some of those moments, but not every bit of it, not every bit of those moments, right? And we can't go into the mindset of saying, well, Law, Amari Cooper been here for about, let's say, 3 years now, right? And what have that achieved? No, because as a builder, you continue to build upon and expound upon those things that are great. You don't take away from it and say, let's use cheaper tools. You continue to build upon that. Nevertheless, that's all said and done. The Cowboys still were 12-5. One can argue, if you go with the mindset, that the Cowboys advanced in the playoffs. They won at least one playoff game that's fairly better than what they did in 2021. But, man, it could have been better if we had more explosive guys. But listen to more what they have to say.
And if a quarterback doesn't have explosive playmakers, what was that like? Did he turn it over in the playoffs? He did get us past Tampa, which that had been a problem, just even getting one playoff win. He did get us past that.
Well, Tampa wasn't very good last year, so.
Yeah, but the thing.
Wait a minute. They were a playoff team. They were a playoff team, and I'm gonna get in front of this before he say it. I want to get in first. Let me get in on this, y'all. Let me get in on this one. Nobody is dividing playoff wins or losses on whether or not that team is a good team or a bad team. You know, nobody does that, right? Because there's no way you can look up the stat and say, hey, man, this guy won 12 playoff games, but 4 of them was bad teams. No, it's a playoff game, right? And granted, the same heat we would have received heat, y'all, if the Cowboys were to lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? There would have been nobody, mama, uncle, cousin, Tupac and Biggie climbing out of the grave talking about, hey, man, look at that bad playoff team beating the doggone Dallas Cowboys. No. Dak Delusional fan says Tampa defense were horrible last season. Well, how they make it to the playoffs? They were a playoff team, right? Here's the thing. Nobody, mama, uncle, cousin, talks about the fact that even when the Patriots were on their run, nobody mentioned the Jets would suck. The Miami Dolphins were trash. The Bills were horrid, right? Nobody mentioned those things. Everybody mentioned, hey, man, the Patriots, shoot, they're a juggernaut of a team. But they literally had 6 games on vacation mode, and they made it to the playoff by the goodness and the grace of their division being horrid, right? But we get spoon-fed from the 4-letter and the 3-letter networks that the NFC East been the worst division in the National Football League for many a moons. Whereas we the only division that everybody got a Super Bowl ring and everybody compete, and it's been a musical chairs on who's been the division leaders every other year. Every other year. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. But we've seen multiple teams. I've seen the Steelers get into the wild card, make a run through the playoffs, win a Super Bowl. Ain't nobody said that, hey, they didn't belong. I've literally seen the New York Giants, a wild card team in 2007, may they forever rest in, you know what I'm saying, come in from a wild card perspective, beat the number 1 team in the National Football League from the NFC side, the Dallas Cowboys. And not a word was said about, hey, man, that team didn't supposed to be there, right? Playoffs, anything can jump off and pop off, right? That's for what we heard. I've literally seen the Packers, yes, the Sugar Daddy won, Williams, the Packers scrape in. That's the only Super Bowl ring that Mike McCarthy got, right? With Aaron Rodgers. I want y'all to go back and look at what was told and said about Aaron Rodgers. He would never fill in the shoes of Brett Favre. And I hate giving praises to Aaron Rodgers, right? Look up that year because the Mandela effect is very, very much so real. He wasn't selected to go to the Pro Bowl that year. They had 5 guys to go to the Pro Bowl. Aaron Rodgers wasn't one of them. It was 3 guys. I think it was 3 to 4 guys from the defensive side. Go back and look. Y'all going to go back and say, oh, I didn't know. But Mandela effect and beyond can be very crazy, right? But what I'm saying is, by the time all of that dust settles, the quarterback will be the one still lifted, though. You know what I'm saying? Everybody going to look back at what the quarterback did. That's just how it goes. But neither here nor there. Let's listen to more. And before I go into this, y'all remember that team called the New Orleans Saints? That was a juggernaut of a team that everybody, mama, uncle, cousin loved, right? That was a team that was a wild card team that I believe made it to the playoffs, 7-9. And this was the year sparked right before the LOB. That team, the Seattle Seahawks, walked right in there to New Orleans, I believe, or they came to or the New Orleans came to them, or however it went. The 7-9 team throttled the Saints. And I laughed, I keyed and laughed all that day because I'm from Mississippi and we got a lot of Saints fans down there. And that was the year that beast mode went into beast mode. Y'all remember that play? Who remember that Marshawn Lynch play? Boy, but they didn't belong. They was a horrible playoff team, right? Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
You're only evaluating. They were a playoff team. So you're only saying, now what was his role in us getting past Tampa? Was he important part of that? Or did we just run our way through Tampa? Was it the running game and defense? And so I think that's how you have to parse it all out. Because you brought up how far did they go in the playoff, things of that nature. And was he responsible for them getting that far? Was he responsible for them getting as far as only they got once you got up against the San Francisco 49ers?
I don't know, D Park. I don't know the Giants. I think they were 9-7 that year. I don't think they were 7-9. I think they were 9-7. The year they made it into the playoffs and they stomped us. Because 07, was it 07 or was it was 2011, right? Which one was it when the Patriots were undefeated, right? But I don't think that they were 7-9. I think they were 9-7. No 7-9 team ever won a Super Bowl, I believe. Yeah, they were 9-7. Appreciate you, Crow. Yeah, I know I'm getting old over here, but I don't believe that they were 7-9. Appreciate y'all. Let's listen to this audio. I told you it's gonna be a long story. It's gonna be a long day today, man. I hope you guys. It was 2011. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna say this one more time. I think that the 07 team was the best Cowboy team in, last decade or what have you. But we just needed coaching. I never put that game in 07 all on Romo, but I put it on the preparation and just being prepared. And when you take things lightly and you think that next year you can just get back to it, you'll be forever chasing that, right? And we forever chased 07 all the way. We chased 07. Hear me out, ladies and gentlemen. Because we were like, well, 08 gonna be the year, man. And then 09 for your mind. I remember I was in a business meeting at that time. 09 for your mind. I literally put that on the, I always was saying that before I even started YouTube or what have you. And we chased that for another 7 years. In 2014, that was a team that we finally went through most of the growing pains with Jason Garrett, right? And we had a unique system of run-first identity, but we just didn't have the ability to have playmakers on the defensive side outside of a few guys that was trying. You know what I'm saying? 07 Cowboys was a problem. Yeah, but see, look how long that we've been chasing that high, man. And a high can last for a long time. Because right now, ladies and gentlemen, Jose says 2014 your favorite. I believe 017 will whoop 2014 team. I think 017 will whoop them, but neither here nor there. I would say this. That high can last a long time. Look how high we still on with the 90s Cowboys. That high can last, man. we still haven't came down from that high. Somebody said, nah, I've been came down from that high, man. We still haven't done anything. But let's go, man. Let's get it.
Those are the things you have to evaluate. And then you have to ask yourself this. If not Dak Prescott, who? Right? Because once you go into a lane.
Hold on. Let me rewind because I got to get myself back to what they was talking about. Hold on. My bad.
Once you got up against the San Francisco 49ers, I think those are the things you have to evaluate. And then you have to ask yourself this. If not Dak Prescott, who? Right. Because once you go into a lame duck year, right? In other words, last year on that contract, and the Cowboys don't want to go here again. We know this. You go into a lame duck year, final year of a contract, that means now you're going to have to use the franchise tag on the guy again. And they've already used it twice on him, right? Haven't they?
Yeah, and these guys are not, astute with the information of the Cowboys organization, and the contract of said Dak Prescott. He got a no franchise tag clause on the contract, right? So even if the Cowboys say, hey, we're going to put you on another tag, you can't. And, of course, the two rulings of you can only place a tag on a player twice, I think that still goes into that effect. But overall, he got a no franchise tag on the contract. So, and I think that rule also states that after 2 consecutive franchise tag, you can't place a third tag. But after a year being removed or what have you, you can go back. So neither here on that. I would tell you guys this right here, or nor there. Franchise tags should be only used for placeholders for you to work out that long-term contract. A player should not be able to play on that franchise tag. Lamar Jackson, his organization, his agency, his mom, I believe, running the agency, they stood tall with it and said, okay, we want X, Y, and Z. And they didn't cave in. And they got that big bag. Thank God that they didn't play on that franchise tag. But they caved, right? And nothing like, but I think that the Cowboys organization, franchise, business model, they would have been a little bit more of stubborn. And they would have said, all right, Lamar, well, you're going to have to play on that tag then. You know, they wouldn't have probably caved. They would have at least seen him 1 year on that tag. But that's a story of another day.
I don't know if they've used it twice, but you can only use it twice on a player. So
Yeah, they used it twice. They tagged him the second time. But he never signed it, but then they ended up reaching an agreement.
right. But I would say this, like when you're talking about diving into what's the true value of the quarterback, and I've learned this through my experiences, is don't look at the quarterback rating or just the touchdowns, the interceptions, and you make a great point. Sometimes those interceptions are not on the quarterback. Maybe it's on the receiver, or maybe he was getting hit because an offensive lineman got beat, and as he released the ball, the defensive end tipped it out of his hand or something like that, and they intercepted it. So, but also I think when you're trying to evaluate the quarterback, take out the, I would say the global view and dig down into each category. How does he perform on third down? How does he perform when the team's behind by 7? How does he perform in 2 minutes before the half? How does he perform in the final 2 minutes of a game and they're winning by 7 or they're trailing by 7? Some of the quarterbacks that I really dug into, they had really good stats when their team was ahead. And then all of a sudden when their team was behind, that's when the interceptions occurred on the quarterback, or that's when he didn't perform well. So to me, we tried to pick out certain points or the pressure points of a game to truly measure what the quarterback is. I looked at 2 different quarterbacks at the collegiate level, and I did some in the NFL level as well. Quarterback A had stats that were not equal to quarterback B, but quarterback A stats were better than quarterback B stats when there was pressure situations in the game. Like I said, 2 minute, trailing by 7, final drive to come back, come from behind wins. I think all of those things are the things that you really have to dig deep into to really find out what the true value of that quarterback is. And the other point that you made on, if not Dak, then who?
Man, oh my gosh, that's that analytical part of it. I'm gonna have to go back and look at, when we're down by 7 or down by 2 possessions, how do Dak Prescott perform, right? On third down, what play design was there? How did he perform, right? Those are things that even I didn't really thought about until now. That's a good observation from that analysis there. So let me know, based off of that decision, are you comfortable with Dak Prescott performing with those levels of heat? Give me a scale of 1 through 4, 4 being the highest, right? 4 cups. We're down by a score. There's 2 minutes left on the clock. You got 4 with the ball. Are you a 1 cup guy, 2 cup guy, 3 cup person, or 4 cup person? if it's a situation where you need a closeout, this drive right here, hey, everything is on the line. Do you really look at this particular quarterback as the guy that can seal the deal? Are you 4 cups on that, 3 cups on that, 2 cups, or 1? To me personally, in the last 2 seasons, I've seen before Dak Prescott had like 14 to 15 comebacks before, right? But in these last 2 seasons, we seen the Jacksonville Jaguars game. It's hard to compel the truths with that. I think he threw two pivotal INTs, one for sure bounced off of Noah Brown's chest, right? So I can't give him 4 cups in that game. There's no way I can do that. Objectively speaking here, even though that wasn't his fault, that wasn't his reasons why. But you have to sit back and say, at the end of the day, we had the league and we end up losing that. And of course, I go back to the Raiders game, right? Last season, 2021, we had the ball in our possessions, and we end up losing that game. Dak Prescott had the chance to go down there and drive, so I can't give him 4 cups out of that one, right? So when we evaluating these games, we have to sit back and say to ourselves, when do we give him 4 cups? I can for sure give him 4 cups against the Eagles, right? He threw an interception the first series or what have you. All of the Eagles fans key laughing, right? It was a real battle-tested game, but Dak Prescott, you got to give that man 4 cups in that game, right? So measured equally from there. All right, so Washington says Dak living rent-free in fans and haters' mind. Can't help his name out of their mouth. Can't keep his name out of his mouth, right? Dak is an inspiration, has overcome adversity and getting bashed online. Imagine Dak in a good system like the 49ers. Granted, I would say this, Washington, you right on the money. My brother all the time, he's a 49er fan. And he goes all the way back to the 49ers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. He literally, right hand to the man, said if the 49ers had Dak Prescott versus the Kansas City Chiefs, he would have not only just outdueled Pat Mahomes, they would have won that game, right? So in that particular system. So now how would you perceive to look at Dak Prescott, who went toe-to-toe with Pat Mahomes to win? But that is intangible, right? We haven't seen it. We don't know Dak Prescott in said system. But we can look at other quarterbacks in West Coast systems that tend to win you games. Garoppolo won games in West Coast system. We just seen a guy that was drafted in the Mr. Irrelevant, right? In a West Coast scheme and system. Falls right into a good situation. I think he ran on a run, won about 10 or 11 games, I believe, right? So Brock Purdy, so yeah, systems do make a quarterback look real good. And it washes away the warts. We can go on and on with history, with historical data stating that systems do matter, right? I believe Steve Young in Tampa Bay was terrible, right? But Steve Young and that West Coast system and scheme under their philosophy is an MVP, Super Bowl wearing, ring wearing guy, right? And he's in a better system. But I promise you, my bottom dollar, if I had one, I bet my bottom dollar he wouldn't have made it to any of those Super Bowls by playing for Tampa Bay if they never adopted that particular system and players around him, right? But it goes to show you that systems do matter, right? So let's listen to more of this audio from this guy breaking down. Yeah, Brett Favre for Atlanta Falcons, right? I don't think that Brett Favre in Atlanta would have been Brett Favre, right? But he went to a good system, right? And he couldn't never beat the Cowboys, right? It's amazing. As soon as we drop off the Green Bay Packers. What year they won the Super Bowl? 97, right? 97, was it 97 or 98? One of those years. Took a good system. Always had the talent. It's not like you look at Brett Favre and say, hey, man, he don't have the talent, the arm talent, right? But he didn't have the system. And that's a story. It was 97. Shout out to you, Willie T. Let's listen to more of this audio.
Because they drafted Dak in the 4th round, which was a great find because you don't find quarterbacks like Dak Prescott to have that success. Most of the time, you're going to have to get a quarterback to hit in the top 10 or better, and that's still only a 50% chance of hitting. And Dallas is too good of a football team that I don't think with Dak Prescott and the talent they have around him on that football team, they're ever going to be picking in the top 10 or top 5 unless they just do a total reset on anything and then try to go get the next supposedly franchise type quarterback. So you're kind of stuck in purgatory because you're always going to be picking in the teens and the 20s because you're always going to be in the mix. You're probably always going to make the playoffs. But is that quarterback in those pressure situations good enough to get you farther in the playoffs? They can get you to the playoffs, but how do they perform and what are their stats and what are their stats in those critical situations in a playoff game?
Man, ooh. All right, I got to break this part down. Woo! He said a mouthful, man. Purgatory. Cowboys being absolutely too good to be in that situation, whereas you can get a first or second overall pick or third overall pick, right? We've been too good. Even look, that is truth. That is truth. Damn, that is truth. Damn. When you think about it, you're going all the way back, 5-11, 5-11. Even with Biles winning 5-11, 5-11 with Dave Campo, that's too good. That was too good of a team to get the number 1 overall quarterback, right? So then we went from that aspect. We got to tell the history in order for everybody to understand the context of it, right? So even with that, after the 5-11, I think we went 3 years in a row, right? 5-11, 5-11. We got Bill Parcells, who understands the game and know how to find veteran guys to be able to elevate team regardless of what the circumstances were, right? He went and took Quincy Carter. They went 10-6 one year. Made it to the playoffs. I think we lost to the Carolina Panthers, and that same team absolutely went all the way to the freaking Super Bowl, right? And I think that they only lost by 3 points, but we fought it out with them. Hey, man, who knows, man, what would have happened if we ended up beating the doggone Carolina Panthers? Who knows, man? We could have been all the way to the Super Bowl to lose to the Patriots by 3 points. Here's the other thing. From that time span, we have been in the middle of it ever since then, winning anywhere north of 5 to 7 games throughout that spell. So we haven't been a team that's been horrid enough to be able to pick early in the draft. The last time we were able to pick early in the last 20 years or such was what, 2016? And what was it? Well, let me go all the way back. Is it 2016, right? And we selected a running back, Ezekiel Elliott. We had the 4th overall pick. And trust me, in my thoughts, in my opinion, trading up for Jared Goff or Carson Wentz is not the answer, right? It's not the answer. I would rather have Ezekiel, right? So, and think about it. Even if you try to organically tank or tank in general, and those were your options, how further along will we be as an organization and franchise? Because one can argue that Dak Prescott out of the 2016 draft is the best quarterback. All right, so now we looked at what? The pandemic year, 2020 year was the other time we had an opportunity to give away our picks or what have you to move up even further. And that was the last time we were picking inside the top 10 or close to the top 10. And out of that, the 2 times that we were able to pick early in the draft, we got Ezekiel Elliott and Michael Parsons. Both of those are phenomenal draft picks, right? Beautiful draft picks. So there's no guarantees what I'm saying and saying, okay, let's just tank for the 2023 year and let's go get a Caleb Williams? Would you guys prefer to go through this season winning only 1 or 2 games, right? To draft a Caleb Williams? Is he going to be the number 1 quarterback next year? And seeing what he can do, right? And seeing if he can propel this team, for the 2025, 2026, 2020, what would you guys do for that, right? Or Caleb Williams could be the guy. He could be. I ain't gonna wish no ill will on this dude. I ain't gonna say what he could be, but I would refuse to do all of that. I would refuse. The only other option would be is to trade Dak, but guess what? You can't trade him. He got a no trade clause on his contract, and he got one hell of a big contract. You can't get rid of it. So I refuse to rebuild. And onto that topic there, he said some other good pieces about, hey, is the quarterback eligible to get you over the hump? Is the quarterback capable of winning you those games in the playoffs? But newsflash, what if I told you if you come up with a plan, JL, they say cut him. If you cut him, you got to eat $89 million. So you definitely ain't going to do that. That's too much money. So the thing is, as a great coach, as a great coordinator, you would figure out ways to win with what you got. Matthew Stafford, it took him 13 years to win the Super Bowl. It took him going to another team to win the Super Bowl. It took him literally, ladies and gentlemen, the offensive coordinator and head coach to make sure that the pieces around him were sufficient. And that defense, man, my goodness. But even with that, it was still narrow for him to win the Super Bowl. It was still narrow for him. Let me rewind just in case you guys just tuning in or see y'all just jumping in. Just give me 1 second here. Bear with me. Let me rewind just for your mind just a little bit. Come on, computer. Here we go. We're going to rewind and listen to that, because that was a good piece of how he broke that down.
And Dallas is too good of a football team that I don't think, with Dak Prescott and the talent they have around him on that football team, they're ever going to be picking in the top 10 or top 5 unless they just do a total reset on anything and then try to go get the next supposedly franchise type quarterback. So you're kind of stuck in purgatory because you're always going to be picking in the teens and the 20s because you're always going to be in the mix. You're probably always going to make the playoffs. But is that quarterback in those pressure situations good enough to get you farther in the playoffs? They can get you to the playoffs, but how do they perform, and what are their stats, and what are their stats in those critical situations in a playoff game?
Really important numbers. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. So if you think about the 15 interceptions that Dak Prescott had, 20 turnover-worthy plays, right? So that means those are plays that you would consider that, okay, it could have been a turnover, could have been a fumble, could have been intercepted. In other words, say you hit a defensive back right between the numbers and the defensive back drops it. Those don't necessarily show up in the stats, do they? Like if you read the box score after a game and you see that your guy had 3 touchdowns and no interceptions, but then you go back and you watch the tape. The ball gets tipped at the line of scrimmage. Another defensive back looks like he's going to catch it, but he drops it.
Right.
and then another late in the game where the guy, he hit him right in the bread basket. Defensive back drops it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
right.
The box score shows he threw no interceptions. But if you look at the responsibility for how he performed, you were lucky that he didn't have 2 turnovers. Well, you've got to be able to gauge those numbers too. Now, what if a couple of times during the season on Hail Mary at the end of a game or at the end of a half, right, where you throw a Hail Mary and it gets intercepted? Is that indicative of how the quarterback played that day? I wouldn't think so.
But that counts against them because it's an interception. But the other thing is when those turnovers occurred, at what point of the game did they occur? Like if you're in the first quarter and let's say you take a shot, the offensive coordinator calls a deep shot and, hey, let's take a chance. It's early in the game. Let's see if we can hit. Intercepted. It was like 3rd and 13. Throw a shot. So it's almost like a punt. Okay, I got the same, we took a shot. We turned the ball over, and it's just like a punt down the field. But do those interceptions occur in those critical points of the game? And that's, I think, where you really have to dig deep into the turnover part. And are they occurring when the game is on the line, or are they occurring at certain points of the game? A Hail Mary, a 3rd and 15, and you're in the first quarter, and you're just taking a shot just to see if you can get it. So that's where you have to get into the details on the turnovers. And in Dak's situation, I don't know that, but that would be a very interesting study to see who really is Dak Prescott.
Yeah, well, and I stand corrected. He threw 17 interceptions this past season, tied for most in the NFL with one Josh Allen, who also had 17 interceptions. The difference is Allen had 10 more touchdown passes than Dak Prescott. He had 38 touchdown passes as opposed to 28 for Dak Prescott. But it's for Jerry Jones to decide what that new contract will look like and when it will come for Dak Prescott. We got to get to break. We'll be
all right, so that's a good analysis part of it. I would tell you guys, anytime you use analysis on what should have or what could have happened, then on the flip side, you have to comb through all of the receptions too of what the wide receiver made an unbelievable jump to catch said ball, right? And that could have been an INT. So I think that there could be over analyzing, right? And just analyze the numbers in that aspect of it, because analyzing like, hey, man, technically he threw for 320 yards and no touchdowns, but two of the balls bounced off of the DB hand, so we're going to add that to it. No, because nobody in NFL history would do just the opposite, right? When a wide receiver make the unbelievable catch that's supposed to not be a catch, no one say, well, hey, man, that wide receiver, shoot, let's look back at that. No, they just say, hey, that yard, that touchdown, it goes to the quarterback. An unbelievable catch by the wide receiver. So both things, you're going to have to look at it in those particular ways too. And I know, for right now, we can go back and say, well, yeah, he threw for 17 INTs, but, there were at least 4 or 5 balls that we should have count also for INTs that the DB dropped. Then that would be kind of crass to do that for one, and if you're not doing it for all, right? So that can be very gray area on why not to pay a person, in my opinion. All right, so that was that. Let me see if it's some more audio. I don't know if I recorded it all, but let me see if I got more of it. Y'all just bear with me.
Back with more. You're listening to the Friday morning edition of the Opening Drive on Sirius XM.
And that, I'm getting what I deserve, but I also want to make sure.
All right, so yeah, I did. And that was the Opening Drive from Sirius Satellite Radio. All right, so they got some more. You guys want me to continue to go? You guys want me to continue to go live with this? It's 1:11 right now where I'm at. I got plenty of time. It's Friday, baby. It's Friday. Shout out to the people that don't have to work today on Friday. But if you have to work and you're listening, man, it's good, right? It's still good, right? Y'all want me to continue to go? All right, let me see. Come on, man. Y'all get those likes up, man. Look, the craziest thing, man, I can tell y'all don't be liking me, man. That's okay, man. I be seeing videos with 2,000 or 3,000 views with 200 likes. I sit there like, man, y'all just watching but not liking, man. I'm not here. y'all stealing, man.
Come back, Steve.
I know it's the off season, man, but hey, I get it. You know, you may be all in tune with it. And you say, yeah, I pretty much appreciate what this man doing. On a beautiful Friday, I could be going out there on the golf course somewhere, man, trying to practice my swing. I could be at Top Golf right about now, you know? So y'all tighten up and hit that like button, man. Don't be goofy with it. Y'all hit that like on the YouTube. Also, sharing is caring. So share it to your Twitter. Share it to your Facebook communities and group. And we talking, man. We getting this thing going, man. Gina said got free fish sandwiches, man. You got some spaghetti with it. Put some spaghetti with that, you know.
Want to make sure that there's enough of the pie to go around so that I have good players around me. In Dallas, I believe they have C.D. Lamb coming up. They have Trevon Diggs coming up as well that are also going to have to get paid. And those guys are probably going to want to get paid market value at the top echelon because I believe that's the first bite of the apple that they're going to get. Where Dak has already had his bite at the apple, he still wants to get compensated accordingly, but also, I don't want to say team-friendly deal, but do a contract that will help the team be able to keep the core players around him. And they still have Pollard out there who's on a franchise number that has to get hopefully get done.
Yeah, that's right. Think about this. Dak Prescott in 2016 was a fourth-round pick. He signed a 4-year contract for $2.7 million. And he played his 4 years making an average of $680,000 a year.
For 4 years, he played for $680,000. For 4 years, write that down, he was playing on an average for $680,000. There was a guy by the name of Rico Gathers that was making more money than Dak Prescott. Matter of fact, when Michael Gallup was drafted, since he was drafted in the 3rd round, juxtaposed to Dak Prescott drafted in the 4th round, Michael Gallup first year was making more money than Rain Dakota Prescott, believe it or not. So when we start talking about money and discounts and things like that, did you guys know before Dak Prescott got his money, his bag, that Carson Wentz, not only in Jerry Goff, because they were first-round draft picks, not only was Dak Prescott being compared to first-round draft picks at that time, those boys were making $20 million collectively, while this dude was making $680,000. And not only go through those first 4 years, when it was time to pay those boys, they got another round of money, right? Without flack from their organizations. So when we start talking about the leverages and things like that, now eventually Dak did get his bag, but he still didn't make or get the amount of money that Goff and Wentz were making just because they was drafted in the first, right? Paxton Lynch was making more money than Dak Prescott. So when we start talking about breaking down money and people talking about worth and value, this person shouldn't get paid and these sorts of things, not a soul that was sitting here watching football last year when that kid, Hamlin, was laid out lifeless on the field, was talking about, hey, man, this dude getting paid too much money. Everybody is one hit away from being laid out on the field, right? Just like that. So that's why it's hard pressed for anybody to start talking about these players and their money, right? But at the same breath and the same token, I don't blame a player saying, hey, I want that bag. But what I thought was very kind of like weird to me, even with Dak Prescott, is by him showing up at camp, him going to all of those meetings, right? And not uttering one word of saying, hey, man, I'm going to hold out. Hey, man, I'm going to sit out. Hey, man, I'm not going to play until you guys pay me. But he put it all on his back and said, hey, I'll go out here and prove it again, right? Dude, you had to prove it again? Dude, if the Cowboys already had 4 cups on Dak, right? Because it seems as if, though, from the beginning, they only had 1 cup on Dak. They never had 4 cups of Dak, right? They was like, shoot, we got to prove it again, dog. You know what I'm saying? You let us down. And on top of that, this brother from another mother had to prove it with, y'all said with me, Jason Garrett. Name me another quarterback that proved it with Jason Garrett outside of Tony Romo. And Tony Romo at least had some knowledge and some information from Sean Payton and been in the mold with Bill Parcells, right? But, man, let me know if Jason Garrett can get a head coaching job in the National Football League. Let me know what he was doing for the New York Giants, right? He had Danny Dimes over there, right, who was a first-round draft pick, and people was trying to send him off to Siberia. Now Danny Dimes getting paid $40 million since Jason Garrett been gone, right? But I'm not saying that, Danny Dimes would be a hero or a legend, though, but it goes to show you that coaches – and I'm not trying to throw Jason Garrett under the bus, but dog it, man, ain't nobody beating down the door for Jason Garrett right now. I don't even think XFL and USFL is looking for a Jason Garrett. Not even my Jackson State is looking for Jason Garrett. Well, they probably could use Jason Garrett, but that's a whole nother story. But what I'm trying to say here, ladies and gentlemen, y'all got to contextualize all of that. Y'all really do. And just for a quick research purpose, when Jason Garrett was the offensive coordinator over there in Giants, which I think that they should have kept him for at least 10 to 15 years there, they averaged 16.5 points per game. I absolutely digress. Come on.
During the first 4 years on that rookie contract. And then it was in 2020, right, when he signed the franchise tag, played under the franchise tag in 2020, made $31 million. He made way more in that 1 year in 2020 than he did his first 4 years as a 4th-round pick.
Woo! All right, so that was the end of that audio. All right, David Lawrence, shout out to D-Law, man. David Lawrence says, Law looks to add context to make Dak looks good, but leave out context to make Dak look bad. That's not true, bro. All right, so with that context, I would love for you one day to call into the show and let me know where I'm leaving out the facts at. Let me know that with the quarterback, what was the record of the Cowboys with the quarterback playing juxtaposed to without the quarterback playing? What is the overall record, right? Are they a winning team or are they a losing team? Also to add with Jason Garrett, by the way, with Jason Garrett. Also for context, how many losing seasons that particular quarterback had with Jason Garrett? I need to know. I want to know, since we want to add to context or not add to context. Because if I know this right here, for example, when you are great at what you do, you don't even have to fill out your resume. You don't even have to fill out the job application. They will find you. They will give you said job. See, I'm great at what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? So I don't have to apply to where I'm at because I already earned my status quo. So they look for me. So that's why I'm comfortably can be sitting here. And this is not me bragging, but this is me factually talking. Because I know in my particular skill set that I'm the only one in the state of Texas. There's not many that can do what I do. So that's why they found me. And that's why when they found me, I hold the upper hand on the leverage. So that is what knowledge brings to the table. So when you start thinking about Jason Garrett, if he was the reason why Dak Prescott was great, and he was the reason why this team was winning, and the reason why this team didn't have, dare I say, David Lawrence, we share the same name. You know what I'm saying? If he's the reason why, then why and how come other teams are not reaching for him or not bringing him in? Why that didn't transfer the information and the knowledge and the wisdom and the greatness of Jason Garrett transfer over to the Giants? How come he couldn't elevate and push, dare I say, Daniel Jones to that level when they still had the same philosophy and the formula? They had a great running back by the name of Saquon Barkley, who's supposed to be, dare I say, in Ezekiel Elliott. They went and re-solidified that offensive line, right? They went and added pieces as it relates to veteran wide receivers. They had the same philosophy, but they didn't have the same results because they didn't have the same type of quarterback. May you rest in peace, because you're listening to the best, baby. So now you're learning something. So with context, explain to me where am I wrong. I need to know. I want to know. I be having the phone lines open, but nobody call in. That's just crazy. Come on with it, baby. And I ain't yelling at you. But I'm just educating you. You know what I'm saying? Those are two different things, right? So I just want you to know that. That's all I'm saying. Come on, man. Look, it don't take rocket scientists to look back at these games. I'm not saying that Dak Prescott can walk on water. What I'm saying is the Cowboys organization and franchise, they need to continue to build upon that. They need to continue to solidify this team, whether it's on the running back side or still adding to. We just heard just the other day, I played a small clip of what even Joe Burrow said. A good quarterback is still good, but he's not going to be able to win without his weapons. I don't think that Joe Burrow is banging on the table saying, bring me Noah Brown. Bring me back a guy, and I'm not throwing any shade at my dog, Michael Gallup. Bring me back a guy, sign him up. If T. Higgins, don't y'all know, if T. Higgins had an ACL tear, right, and had all of those things broken up on his leg, do you think that that the Cincinnati Bengals going to sit back and say, all right, T. Higgins, you in a contract situation and scenario, we're going to give you $60 million, we're going to rush you back out there, and we're going to expect you to play the same without adding to? Come on, baby. Nobody does that way. But the Cowboys do. And the expectations, I said this to my guy who called into the show, always been the same. Super Bowl or bust, regardless of the matter of circumstances. The Cowboys were expected to be in the Super Bowl even when we had Dave Campo. Let me know if I'm wrong. I'll hush. We can go all the way back. 5-11, 5-11. The expectations still remain the same. No other team is given the amount of expectations. But baby, when I tell y'all, when expectations meets the reality, shoo. But nobody wants to hear the truth. Like I started off with this show earlier. Nobody wants to hear it. But speaking of that, let's tune into these boys one more time because they finna talk about Super Bowl hangover. And they're going to talk a little bit about the Eagles. And we're just going to chime in and listen to these boys. But shout out to you, Iceberg Q. Name me a bad coach that won the Super Bowl. We ain't going to go down that road because that could be subjective, right? Because without context, David Lawrence, the second all-time winningest head coach for the Dallas Cowboys is Jason Garrett. So without context, and if somebody was not in tune or affiliated with the Cowboys, they would take that and run with it. They would say, nah, man, it wasn't that bad. And we can go back to the analysis of the analyst just a few seconds ago. And even he said that the Cowboys were pretty much in that middle place. Boy, I digress. Matthew Leslie says, yes, Law. I want more icing on the cake. Add one more running back to the wide receivers to shore it up so we don't depend on a miracle UDFA. Yeah, on the, Yeah, UDFA. Okay, I appreciate you for that. Well, here's how it goes. There have been battles won by guerrilla warfare. And guerrilla warfare states that you know the terrain. You may not have the biggest troops. You may not have the specialized weapons, but you got scheme. You got a strategy. You got a plan. You got a purpose. And when you go into the guerrilla warfare approach, the people, the opposing forces may be 3 to 4 times stronger than you. They may be bigger than you. But by them being bigger than you, they move slower than you. By them not knowing the terrain, they don't know which area to attack. So when you start talking about football and its totalness, right? You're supposed to be able to gain leverage with experience, wisdom of the game. You should be able to outperform the opposition, even if they are more talented than you, because you have the experience. You have the wisdom and knowledge to do such. But when you don't have a set of plan of procedures, then things, regardless of the amount of talent that you have, tend to fall short. And then you start pointing to fingers. And when you point the fingers, somebody point the fingers. You got 3 pointing back at you. And that, my friend, all is contextualized with what the Cowboys been doing since 1995 season. When they got rid of, hear me out, and we're on a long phase of this conversation now. When you got rid of, or when you lost your coach, your head coach, and you brought in a Barry Switzer, who, dare I say, got a good, long, nice resume in college, right? But that doesn't mean that it was transferable. So when the players start to understand that, this dude, he's all right, but it's not what we accustomed to doing. Troy Aikman said that, man, we had to win in spite of the coaching. We had to win in spite of the coaching. Meaning that they had to pull from knowledge and wisdom and information from the previous regime. But sometimes your success could also be your failures. Sometimes when you cheat on the test and you pass, and when you pass again and you display the beautiful results, and then they call it the imposter syndrome. Y'all look it up. And then when it's time for you to do it without those cheat notes, right? You know, y'all see memes all the time. It seems as if though that person lied on his resume, right? So now you are put in a spot, a situation, and you don't have things that you can pull from. You end up looking worse as the years go by. And that's what we seen from the Barry Switzer administration. They started off high because that was a situation and scenario that the players from that team was pulling from the previous regime, the previous knowledge and information, right? And they was applying the principles. They were saying, let's meet up and stay after practice. Let's put it in a little bit more, even though coach said that this is enough for practice. It was only a few of those guys that said, you know what, back then we used to do it this way. Let's continue to do it that way. The only reason why they were able to do it that way, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, those who are out there watching and listening, is because of the previous administration. If they never had that in them, they would never be able to pull it out. Pause. So if they never had that information and knowledge in them, they would never be able to present it. So with that being said, we've seen this happen before. It goes all the way back to, what's this guy name? Who took the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He went from the Raiders to the Bucs. I think his name is John Gruden. But everybody on that team said, yeah, John Gruden was cool and all, but we still learned more from the previous guy. And they were using his philosophy. And they got all of the credit. You know what I'm saying? The guy that absolutely won the Super Bowl. But for those who understood and those who got it out of the mud, they would really say, man, you know, he was cool. He put everything together. But technically, that was Tony's team, right? But he didn't get none of the credit because he was no longer there. Sometimes your success could be your own failure. One can argue that that team never made it back, just like the 95 Cowboys after we done lost the 94 season. One can argue if we would have had the same regime and the same principles, not just the Cowboys being able to win back-to-back, but they probably would have won 4 of them in a row. But that's a story of another day. All right, so I just wanted to be able to talk to you guys about that. And if you guys want to learn more about those principles and understandings, is look this up. There's 48 laws of power. And I'm going to give y'all a little spoon right here, and maybe you can take upon this. There's another law, number 7. Get others to do your work for you, but always take credit. It's crass for someone to do it. But when you really look back at 48 laws, you can see the fingerprints from the elite with number 7 in a whole lot of categories. But I'm speaking too wise. Let's get it. Let's go. Let me go. Let me get out of here with that one.
I don't know that you can have a better season than what the Philadelphia Eagles had last year, except you got to finish it out, right? And win the Super Bowl. They went 14-3, and then they get to the Super Bowl against a juggernaut of a team, the Kansas City Chiefs. They've got the lead at halftime, but yet they fall short by 3 points. They lose 38-35. And I can tell you right now, I've played in the Super Bowl, lost in the Super Bowl. In the final seconds, some guy by the name of Joe Montana went riding off in the night with the Vince Lombardi trophy. But they stuck it in the end zone in the final seconds of the game, and they won it. I remember I couldn't sleep for an entire month. I would just remember for the next month, every morning I woke up staring at the ceiling, kind of replaying every moment of the game in my mind. Just what could I have done better? What could we have done differently? Just it hangs with you now.
It do.
So when you hear of this term, a Super Bowl hangover, I'm here to tell you it's real. But when asked about it this week, A.J. Brown, I thought, was really astute in talking about it. He said at some point, you just have to get over it. You have to get off the mat and be able to move on. You remember Giannis Antetokounmpo for the Milwaukee Bucks when they lost and were knocked out? They were the number 1 seed in the East.
Yep.
And they got knocked out by the Miami Heat. And some guy said, was this season a failure? He had the right answer. He was like, heck no. He says, so you're telling me, Michael Jordan won 6 NBA championships. The other 9 seasons was a failure? No, it wasn't a failure. It was a success. So he was really pointing to some of the things that A.J. Brown is pointing to. That's really the lessons we ought to all learn in sports, right? That's not a total failure. There's some takeaways from a season where you may not have reached all your goals, but you accomplished a lot of things. And I think it is that mindset that allows you to get off the mat and get going for another season and allows you to avoid a potential Super Bowl hangover.
Is a Super Bowl hangover, and I'm asking you this question, how many teams have repeated the next year? Has there ever been a team that's repeated the next year?
That went back to the Super Bowl after losing a Super Bowl?
Went back and won the Super Bowl back-to-back years. I don't know if I can recall anyone that has done that.
We've got
Cowboys won back-to-back. But we can and the Patriots, did the Patriots do it too? But far as losing the Super Bowl and coming back to a Super Bowl, I think of the Denver. Did Denver do that? Did they lose to the Seattle Seahawks and then they said, you know what, let's regroup. We need more weapons. And then they went back the following year and won it. I think that was the situation and scenario there. And it is very hard to do that. And you have to really focus in. And the craziest thing about the Broncos the first wave of them going to the Super Bowl offense. It had to be 2013, right? It was 2013. That was a year that was it 2013 or 2012? Y'all help me out. But that offense was nice, man. They were putting up great numbers and everything, and unstoppable. I think Peyton Manning threw for like 50 touchdowns or something like that. But I would tell you guys that that's a difficult thing to do. And then the next season, they flipped it. And they became a defensive team. Like the very next year, even though that first year they was all right in defense, they kind of reminded me of a defense that can take ball away and get turnovers, but they were not a juggernaut of a defensive team. And then that next season, they said, 2 tiers in the bucket. They went and got Talib. They went and got a whole host of weapons on the defensive side, went straight to the Super Bowl and won it. Yeah, Elway back-to-back Super Bowls too. Yeah, Action Powerball. Yeah, so it could be quite possible, but it's hard. Elway year, I think that even with them, they probably could have won 3 Super Bowls in a row if Elway didn't retire. I think so. I think that if they were, or they could have won at least, they probably could have won 3, but not in a row. But, if Elway was a little bit younger, right? All right, so that could have been a situation for them. Yeah. So it's crazy. I would say this for the Eagles. I don't foresee them being a team that was like the Denver Broncos, lose a year and then come back and win a year. It's the whole point of this topic line right here. And I'm not throwing any hate or shade at the Eagles because it's too drastic of a change. Now, y'all help me out because I could be off with that. But didn't also the Denver Broncos, did they change out head coaches? Y'all help me out. Did they change out head coaches from one year to the next? The year that they went to the Super Bowl, then they changed out the head coach. Did they do that? I could be off. And then Wade was on that team, right? Was he on that team? Wade Phillips, the defensive coordinator for those 2 years, but they just changed out the head coach, and that helped in some variations of ways, right? So we can look at that model there, and I think that the Eagles, Trev says they went from John Fox to Gary Kubiak. So, and the reason for that was like preparing, in tune with not Dak Prescott, but in tune with Peyton Manning. I think Peyton Manning that year got hurt, and they had to put in that tall guy. I forgot his name. He was 6'9" or something like that. He was real tall, and they were able to win some, get it out of the mud games, and then the playoff hit, and they was like, let's put in Peyton Manning. It's playoff, and there's no one got more experiences than him. Let's get him in there. So yeah. So how to measure Dak Prescott? I would tell you guys at this point, Brock Osweiler. Appreciate y'all, man. So Rev says John Elway lost 3 Super Bowls before winning 2. Oh, wow. I just remember him being in the Washington Super Bowl, right? Washington versus Denver. I shoot. Old boy Doug Williams ate him up. Cooper Rush wasn't either. Once Kellen wanted to go past happy. Yeah, I feel what y'all saying. Let's do this. Let's get this going because we press for time now. Let me see if they say anything else on this, and then we'll open up the phone line.
The teams that have gone back, I mean, the Buffalo Bills went 4 times in a row.
Right.
So clearly they didn't have a hangover. I don't think the Bengals, after losing to the Rams, I don't think that you can look at them and, I mean, they made it back to the AFC Championship game. I don't know that you're going to say they had a Super Bowl hangover. So I think that's the context to look at it in. I don't think you have to go back and win it in order to say there was no hangover. I think you just need, in other words, there's other benchmarks for achievement that you can look back on a season, even if you don't win a Super Bowl. And I think that's the proper way to look at it. But the Super Bowl hangover thing is a thing. Hey, look at the Rams. They won it 2 years ago, 2021. They're the ones who had the hangover.
No doubt, no doubt. Come on. As the room fill up, be sure to smash upon the like button. Sharing is caring. We're going to open up the phone lines for your mind.
There is one other participant in the conference.
My guy, Jake the Great. He's been waiting in here for a minute. Appreciate him. Let me pull y'all. 657-390-7391. Come on. I got my guy, Jake the Great, 561. You're live. The topic is, man, how to measure Dak Prescott, man, for this contract extension, man. Talk to me, man.
Man, with Dak Prescott, I'm going to measure him 3.5 cups, man. I got to respect my dog. He's a warrior. You know, and I can see that the measurement in Dallas is crazy because where I'm from, Florida, the show me state, almost don't never count. We never say, oh, you almost had that girl. Oh, you almost bought that car. No. If it don't happen, it don't count. I've never heard Dak Prescott had 20 almost turnover plays. Because if that's the case, they glorify what's his name, Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush would have had 10 interceptions in 5 games. Because every game there was 2 picks that the DB just dropped against the Angels, saved them or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you on that.
So. And, you know, onto the chat, no, but that was not the chat, but that was a good recording you had because it was like, if not Dak, who?
Yeah.
Because we always say, oh, get rid of Dak, don't pay Dak, but then who? Because this team got lucky. We got blessed by the football guys, not once, but twice. Tony Romo fell in our lap, weren't looking for him.
Right.
Dak fell in our lap, we weren't looking for him. We were never going to be sorry enough to be up there. We got Will McClay. We were never going to be 3-15, and I don't think we have the stomach to withstand a 3-13 year. We would tear the whole city of Dallas up.
No doubt.
But you know, if not Dak, who? But I know you got a lot of people. That was just my little rant. You know, great show as always. Jake
Appreciate you.
I'm out of here, bro.
Appreciate you, Jake the Great, man. Good call from him, man. All right, so yeah, it is extremely hard to measure that part of it, and I agree with him. But he's giving us. And giving us with Dak Prescott 3.5 cups. So that's a good start right there. So he's not all the way, 4 cups in. So let me get my other guy in with the plan. His name is Darius from the 214. How do you measure Dak Prescott?
Law, what's happening?
Not much, man. Talk to me.
What's happening?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you like a quick answer on how do I measure Dak Prescott. Man, Dak, just keep doing what you're doing, baby. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep getting better. Keep grinding. That last year was an aberration. I know that ain't him. Big Game James said he kind of said the same thing I said about Dak. Dak was never a turnover guy. Dak was more so overly conservative. But me personally, I used to get mad that he was that overly conservative.
Right.
But now he started to throw it all over the yard. I have zero problem with that. Just take it easy at key moments of the game, and then we'll make it work. But the main thing that I called was about that in the chat. So look, my name in the chat, and yesterday I called you from a trap phone. I'm an entrepreneur. I do I do real estate. So I got 2 different phones. I got a work phone and a home phone.
Okay.
So I called you from that phone. Now my YouTube, I had to go and change it. It's Darius _ houses.
Okay.
And so what I want, you got to unblock me because there was some haters. Some of your minds are some haters. You know what I'm saying? So you got to unblock me. But I wanted to ask you, Law. I wanted to ask you. So what's the rule with the personal attacks? Because I done been called a beta. I done been calling all type of stuff in the chat. Because personal, you said that's not right.
Right,
I want to know what is a personal attack because I've been called hella shit. So I'm trying to figure out what's the rule on that.
well, the rule's supposed to be like personal attack, like somebody, slow, what have you, and you saying that person is the R word, the N word, that type of stuff, man. I don't think that somebody calling you a beta male or you know what I'm saying, out of your name
so
in that
go
fashion.
Back and forth.
Yeah, you should.
So
Look, mods. Yeah, allow that type of back and forthness going, but don't allow someone to curse. You got to keep it PG-13, man. I don't have like the sponsorship, whereas you can't say it, but at least, man, let's be respectful of each other, man. So I go by that cardinal rule. You know what I'm saying? Like people know, you know what personal attack is. That type of stuff.
I just wanted to know that that's a bet. And by the way, I do real estate. I'm in the Dallas area. If any of you guys have any type of house that you want to sell, if you got some land, hit me up on Facebook at Darius Flip Houses.
Yeah, and I want to collect about 1%, man. Just 1%, man. I know you're getting 3 and 4.
I got
you know what I'm saying? You got me.
I know.
Appreciate you, man.
I know. Yeah, yes indeed.
Yeah. Hey, do me a favor though. Shoot me your info, like links and stuff like that. So I'm thinking about like community spotlight stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like those who are independent, got their business and stuff like that. We want to do that. I met with. Have you heard of Tony Mack?
Tony Mack? No, that's not.
Yeah,
I don't know if I heard of him.
Yeah. He trains in the Colony area, and he trains Amari Cooper. He trains Michael Parsons. I had a video of Michael Parsons, as well as he got a new client. His new client is Brandon Cooks. And and I know you were asking me about trainers or what have you.
So
Yeah. So hit me up, man. DM me on your Twitter, and anybody that's watching, man, hit me up. And we got some things that's about to pop off in a great way, man. For real. Met with him last night.
DM you too.
You did on Twitter?
I DM'd you about that.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
On Twitter, yeah.
Okay, good. I'll make sure I get to that then. Appreciate you,
all
bro.
Right.
Yes, indeed,
right.
man. It's a good call from Darius, man. Yeah, Tony Mack, man, he's a good guy, man. Met with the smooth brother, man. We met up and we had a great time. And here he is right here. Here go me right there too. We met up and we talked about some things and we're gonna get some things going. He told me some good stuff about Amari Cooper, and Amari Cooper still come to Dallas and work out and train with him, as well as Brandon Cooks. So I said, hey man, you know what we can do here, ladies and gentlemen, we really can meet up with a photo situation of how good this would be with Amari Cooper, right? And Brandon Cooks. I said, man, since you're training both of those boys, at some point you got to take both of those guys together in the ring, and that would be crazy for context there. You know what I'm saying? To have Brandon Cooks in one side and Amari Cooper on the other side, man, I tell you, man. Oh, also, let me put this picture back up. He was telling me about Parsons. And he was saying that Parsons have an unbelievable drive, an unbelievable wheel, an unbelievable motor. And he flew in to fly. He flew in to train with Tony Mack. Tony Mack is to the right of me on that picture. And he flew in to train with him. And he was like, man, Parsons is just unbelievable, dog. He's unbelievable. And he is the type of guy, ladies and gentlemen, that will spar for 30 minutes to an hour, right? And then go run over there and shadow box and go back to sparring and then go play. And I said, man, long story short, I used to train for running, and I used to run a lot of hills and a lot of land in Natchez, Mississippi. But hills and acreage. And I had a German Shepherd, and that German Shepherd would run with me, and he would motivate me. A real dog, y'all. Because when I'm going running, that German Shepherd will run into the woods, chase a squirrel, find a rabbit, come back with his tongue out still. I'm jogging, I'm running. He'll come back, chase a car, come back and run after me. And I'm sitting there like, man, this dog is literally, it's like Parsons. That dog don't never give up. He never get tired. I can have I can be 4 miles ahead of him. Then I can see my dog. We call him Prince. I can see my dog right behind me. You know what I'm saying? And then before you know it, he go chasing another dog way in front of me. Dogs don't get tired, man. Dogs always hunt. And that's what Michael Parsons is, but in a lion's form. All right? Yeah. So shout out to Tony Mack, and shout out to all what he do. I got from the 815, I got Brandon. You're live, man. Dog, talk to me, man. How you measure Dak Prescott?
Oh, I love that question so much, Law. I think Law is one of the greatest minds in all of media sports. This is such a great question, people.
Mm-hmm.
The answer to that question is the way you judge other quarterbacks. What do you do in the playoffs?
Keep going.
That.
Okay.
To and for that. You guys, you Dak fans have told me it was Kellen Moore's fault. Kellen Moore caught all the bad plays. Dak Prescott caught all the good plays.
Okay.
Let's get to 2020. Let's get to 2023 season.
Hold on, before we get to the 2023 season. Do you want would you want Kellen Moore back? Would you want Kellen Moore to call the offense? Are you saying that you would love to have Kellen Moore back?
What I'm telling you is, last 2 seasons when Dak was not in starting the game, there would be 5 games. No, 6 games. Kellen Moore was 5-1 in those games.
Okay.
Another notch in Kellen Moore's bad.
Hold on before you go for there. Now that's one point. We're gonna do point counterpoint. Okay, can I have a rebuttal from there? All right. So yes, he's 5-1 in those games. How many games out of that 5-1 that the opposing team scored more than 20 points?
Ooh, that's a law.
Give
that
it.
That is a great point. I'm gonna say I cannot defend the out I cannot defend Cooper Rush statistical stats but I can tell you this: 5-1. Your point is he didn't have to do that much. The defense carried him. And so Law.
No. I'm just saying. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many games? I'm just asking a simple question. I'm not taking away from him. You know, I got another follow-up question by it. I just want to know how many of those games did the opposing team score more than 20 points?
I think it was. I know at least. I think it was at least one. I'm going to say at least one. That's my answer. One. I'm going to say one.
We never won a game, not one game, that the opposing team scored more than 20 points with Cooper Rush at the starting quarterback spot. But I can tell you this: that's not his fault, right? He get the accolades for winning those games. Shout out, kudos, and credence for him. Hey, go ahead.
Do I get a rebuttal to that? Get a rebuttal to that? Because you rebutted me. Can I get a rebuttal to that? Yeah. Go ahead. What was the score? No, Law, I don't want. Please don't. I'm asking you a direct question. What was the score of the 49er playoff game when we played the 49ers? What was the score?
19-12. Yeah, 19-12.
Okay, so the opposing team did not score 20 points, right?
Come with it, yup. Or more, yup.
So what? I'm not gonna ask you what the heck was Dak doing. I'm just gonna tell you, he gave us 12 points.
Right. Keep going.
Okay, so my question is. My sincere question.
Sincerely, yeah.
Like you guys have blamed it on Kellen Moore. My sincere question: what would be the excuse this year? What do you want me to? Can we get some ground rules on what the excuse machine gonna be this year?
All right,
Because
so
y'all have blamed
hold on. Now it's my turn. It's my turn. Okay.
No.
All right. All I want to say is this right here.
Go ahead.
Was it sustainable? Would that been sustainable enough for the defense to continue to hold teams under 20 points all year long? Yes or no?
They did it in the playoff game, Law.
Hold on.
They did it when it mattered.
I'm saying, was it
When
sustainable?
mattered, and
Would have been sustainable enough that this particular defense would have been able to hold teams under 20 points all year long? Would it have been sustainable?
I believe, like Law, your eyes did not lie to you, Law.
True.
When Cooper Rush was in the game, we definitely had a different game plan.
True.
I don't want to down that hill. We definitely had a different game plan.
True. Keep going.
The answer to your question is I believe so. And to step my I believe so, in a playoff game when it mattered most, we did that, Law. That cannot be taken away. What was your quarterback doing? What was that doing?
Okay.
Somebody tell me.
Now that you got that out the way, I want to ask you this right here, because remember, I'm asking a question with a question. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I thank God for you calling in. You're such a patient caller, right? You're such a good guy listening in to the nation. But I want to ask you this one thing right here. Who has a better defense? The 49ers or the Philadelphia Eagles?
It's no question the 49ers.
Okay, so we seen on a stage of the great Cooper Rush against that Eagles defense. What were they able to do to that, dare I say, the wonderful Cooper Rush?
What they did to him is in the first half, Cooper Rush felt the pressure a little bit. He wanted that job. He knew what people like Brandon was saying to Law Nation. He felt the pressure, but in the second half, Law, he performed. Don't do that, Law. You got to give him that. He had the game back, I believe, within one score. But you know the defense. I'm not saying it was the defense fault, but that last drive kind of broke us. We had a chance in the second half. Law, don't do this.
No, I'm just trying to figure you out. So what you trying to say to me is that Cooper Rush would have won that game, and we would have won the Super Bowl if Cooper Rush would have been the quarterback. That's what you said, right?
I believe.
I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky.
I believe this, Law. Look, we're paying Dak. I don't bring that up often.
True.
But you know what we're paying Dak.
True.
You know what we're paying Cooper Rush.
True.
Had Cooper Rush did what Dak did, of course people wouldn't care. But we're paying Dak Prescott to be our leader, to win us a Super Bowl.
True.
Not for him just to make it to the playoff or be division title like Dak fans would love for him to do. Like, that's the goal. No, the goal is to win a Super Bowl. He has not delivered. This year is no more excuses. I do not want Dak to get an extension, period.
Well, if you don't want Dak to get the extension, and I feel you, so you are 1 cup Dak Prescott, right? Or you 0 cups, on the measure. We got 1 through 4.
I hope he can get us to a Super Bowl. Even if he get us to a Super Bowl, I'm still with do not give him an extension. Dak is not that guy, but go ahead.
All right, man. Wait a minute. So even if we go to the Super Bowl, don't extend him.
It won't be because of Dak. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It won't be because of Dak.
I feel you, man. I feel you. I understand your logic. When you
again,
land the play, you land the play. Let it play. Yeah.
Before I go, Law question was, how many times can your defense hold the opponent to 20 points or less? In the playoff game, your defense did that. And in the crucial moment, what did Dak do? I know Dak fans don't want to hear it, but I love my Cowboys and I love Law Nation. Shout out to Law Nation. Shout out to the nation. How about them Cowboys?
How about him, man? Appreciate you, man. That's Brandon, man. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy right there. You know, to be fair to what he said as we land the plane over here. Hold on, get on out of here, plane. Special effect law, right? All right. So to be fair to my guy Brandon, right? There should be no more Kellen Moore excuses, right? There should be ultimately no more Dak Prescott excuses performing in these stages of the game. But also, I'm quite sure if I'm a betting man, I would bet, let's say $400, $400 on the line to keep 4 going. That if it's 2nd and 2, and we are inside our own 20, and if this particular team go empty and they do 4 curl routes, I will figure out a way. I will figure out a way to admit and pay my guy Brandon $400. You know what I'm saying? Or find a way. No, I don't have to pay him $400, but I'll find a way to eat crow on that. But I'm guaranteeing y'all, ladies and gentlemen, we should no longer see that play. I'm quite sure that excuse will not be applicable. That excuse will not be available. That's a better way to say it. You know, that's just the better way to say it. I'm quite sure that no one is going to be able to say that. You know, all right. So I got, we got some callers in here now, baby. All right. I got my man with the plan 100 grade. How do you measure Dak Prescott and don't talk about them Lakers? He's wide open. He's finna yam it. Oh, it's turnovers. LeBron James turned into Dak Prescott. I knew you was gonna go there. I knew you was gonna go there, man. LeBron James wide open. He's turned into a Dak. Hey, LeBron James wide open, man. Hey, and you know me, man. I was like an Eagles fan in the doggone Super Bowl. I was like, yeah, dog, we up, man. We up, baby.
I know you was. I was gonna call you on Instagram, but I said, nah, leave him alone.
I'm glad you left me alone, man. I said, man.
Gosh, something wrong here.
I said, LeBron, man, come on, LeBron, man. And I tolerate LeBron, you know, because, you know, I couldn't stand him. I couldn't stand him when he was in Cleveland. I couldn't stand him when he was with the Heats, you know. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. I said, God, dog, dude. And then he come to my team. And I was like, but then the Illuminati, they souped up something in the bubble bowl, and I was like, okay, all right. I can roll with one of them. I won't take that ring off. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm with you tonight. You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, man.
But I mean Anthony Davis too, man. What happened to Anthony Davis last night? You can't just blame it all on LeBron. Anthony Davis he didn't have a good game.
Man, but as long as he's healthy, man, he's still moving around, man.
Hey, I cringed when LeBron went down and started grabbing at his knee. I said, oh, man, it's over now.
Yeah, LeBron James going to fall into the fan and spill their drink, and they going to give him a towel. They're like, oh, here you go, LeBron. Here you go. Here's a towel. You know, hey, man, he going to pay me this drink, dog. You know what I'm saying? He got all the money. Them drinks are $40 a piece. Yes, D, man.
Hey, that's
the price you pay for them seats, man. That's how it go, man.
Yeah, so 0-2, man. 0-2, it is over with, man. But hey, I seen crazy things happen, man. I seen crazy things, man.
LA fans saying y'all gonna go 4 straight.
Hey, LA. I think Dez is an LA guy. He says LA in 7.
So every other LA fan ain't giving up. You giving up, Law? Give up, Law.
Nah, I ain't give up, Law, but hey, LA in 7. That's what Dez Bryant said, man. LA in 7. So, hey, my brother rooting for the Warriors, man. He was like, Warriors in 6, man. Hey, y'all go to Twin Maker page, man. That joker was hot, boy. He was hot, man. He had some money on that doggone curry. I said, when you gonna get some curry chicken down, man? You know what I'm saying? Some curry goat, you know? Twin was so hot, man. I said, man, I'll let him make it because I ain't really like that on basketball. You know, I wasn't gonna pull on him like that. But man, the Twin was so hot, man. He thought for sure Golden State. Twin thought for sure, man.
I know he did.
Yeah, man. If y'all follow his Twitter, man, y'all follow my brother Twitter, Twin Maker. It's hilarious, man. Yeah.
But I'm nervous about the night, man. I don't think we're gonna get the job done tonight, man. I think the boys gonna come to play. I think them boys they know they can't go down no 0-2. So it's gonna be 1-1, man.
Okay.
It's gonna be 1-1. I hope I'm wrong, but it's tough when you go down 0-2, Law. I'm like,
it's tough, man. But then again, sometimes you can be so far out in front that you pull up off the gas a little bit, and you know.
That's true.
Old big boy, the Joker, you know, whatever y'all want to call him, that big boy.
He had a good game last night.
But he's still an impact. You know, he's blurry, but he's still.
Turned up and put up 25 on y'all in that fourth quarter. I said,
yeah,
boy, Murray.
Yeah, and that secret assassin over there, man. He need to get more credit for what he do out there on the court, man.
He do. He real slept on. I agree. But it's because the Joker over there. You ain't gonna get no credit like that when you got the Joker putting up where he's putting up.
Man, every other year, man, you get somebody like that, man, that just dominant like that. But what you got for the Cowboys, man? You know, that's you and I. We agreeing on this, man. You know. You look, if my Lakers don't make it, you just be damn sure that you make sure that the Celtics don't make it. That's all I'm saying. You know, I can't stand those Celtics, but that's what I'm saying. I still looking at now. I look at Michael Parsons when he put that Celtic jersey on. I look at him like
a little different. Huh?
Yeah. I look at Michael Parsons. I say, I give it what you're doing, but man, come on, man. Shout out to all my Cowboys Celtics over there, though. If you're a Cowboys Celtic fan, let me know in the chat, you know. But go ahead, man. Go ahead with your Cowboys conversation, man. Come on.
I don't know, man. When I turn on, I gotta hear Brandon, man. I just don't. Just shut up. Okay, well, everybody thinks we're saying it. Just shut up, bro. Just shut up. We understand. That's what you want to do. You want to be the villain. That's the role you play. We get it. You know what I'm saying? You want to. That's how you want attention. So that's how you get attention hating on that. A mission accomplished. Everybody, let's clap.
Hey man, my guy Brandon, man, he's relentless, man. He's on the Twitter. He's on the Facebook sides of it, and he fights. He's a good fighter, man, and he keep it going. Like, if you want unbelievable Cowboys content, tune in to Lord Brunson, man. You know, tune in to Lord Brunson on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? I bet you, Brandon and Lord Brunson, you know, boy, they'd be a good follower, man. I said, man, if you want all your Cowboys update to notes and everything, let me pull up Lord Brunson right quick. I said, man, God, no, man.
Every day on his show, he talk about it.
Let me see.
About Jalen Hurts. But according to Brandon, if you go by Brandon's logic, Jalen Hurts ain't do shit. My bad, Lord.
No, you good.
Jalen Hurts ain't do nothing.
All right, I'm gonna read.
Jalen Hurts.
They could trade Jalen Hurts, but I'm gonna read this. And let me know if this sounds like my guy. It sounds like verbatim. Of what Brandon just said. This is what Lord Brunson tweeted out this morning. He said Kellen Moore was a QB coach in 2018. Dak was a Pro Bowler. In 2019, y'all were calling him genius. Dak threw for 4,930 touchdowns, right? 11 interceptions, was top 6. In 2020, Dak was on fire before breaking his ankle. In 2021, Dak threw for 37 touchdowns, a franchise record, all under Kellen Moore. That's the conversation that's needed. What's the excuse? So when I hear that and I hear what Brandon just said, I'm sitting here like, man, he could literally get all of his material from Lord Brunson. And for Lord Brunson to know all of this, don't you know that there are Cowboy fans that don't know that Dak Prescott got the record of 37 touchdowns in one season? There's Cowboy fans that don't know that Dak Prescott threw for 4,900 yards. But there I say, there's a wonderful Eagles content creator by the name of Lord Brunson that's going toe-to-toe and fighting not Eagles fans, but Cowboy fans on Dak Prescott and about this team and their philosophy every year, and so he's fighting the good fight about keeping up with the Cowboys on Kellen Moore, right? He's posting Cowboys content left and right. So you can just follow Lord Brunson and get all your Cowboys content.
That's fact.
Let me know if I'm lying.
You ain't lying. And here, turn around how trash Dak Prescott is. But they don't mention the record, though. They just say, we got to the Super Bowl. But they don't mention how they can't beat us. That just escaped their mind. They just totally forget about that. The record don't exist. All they talk about is, we got to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. They got to the Super Bowl. Yeah, man, but it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
You didn't win, you lost. I never heard a fan base, we went to the Super Bowl. You lost.
Yo.
You was a bridesmaid.
Maybe he's bridesmaid. The matriarch, right? Man, you crazy, man. You crazy 2 left shoes, man. Hey, man, I got to let you go, man, because I got so many people. But before you go, man, measure Dak Prescott from 1 cup, 2 cup, 3 cup, 4 cups. What how many cups you giving him? That's the nature of the show for today.
I give him 4 cups, man.
4 cups, man. Salute.
That's my quarterback.
That's your quarterback, man. Shout out to my guy, man. $100,000, man. May the Heats beat the Celtics. That's what I'm looking for, because I can't stand the Celtics, man. All right, man. All right, what we're going to do is, because we got a lot of people here.
The conference has been locked.
We're going to lock it up. I got my guy, Mark, and then I got MJ, and then we'll move on from there. All right, so from the 832, Mark, that drive trucks, man, you're live.
I hear you. How you doing, Lon?
Man, I'm well, man. I'm well. but before you go into the details there, how many cups you give Dak Prescott? How are you measuring him?
Man, Dak, my cup runneth over with that.
Oh, he's going over for it. Woo! I like that.
Look, I wish Dak was as bad as some of these clowns wish he was. It's funny, you can throw a stat up there and say, look, Dak ain't as bad as you think he is, and that still don't matter. You start getting into the weeds and stuff like that. Dak is all this Dak ain't that dude. Yes, he is. The reason why Dak ain't that dude is because you got a whole lot of dudes that ain't dudes around him. And by that I mean from his coaching on down. You can't tell me Kellen Moore runs an offense that Dak runs. It puts up all these numbers. Dak get all these records, and the one that's not mature is Dak? No, that's Kellen Moore that's not mature. That whole thing with Cooper Rush this year sealed Kellen Moore's fate, because you saw what you had to do in order to win certain games when you didn't have everything optimal.
Yeah.
You ain't got Dak Prescott in there, so you can't get away with just calling any kind of damn play, and Dak can bail you out.
True.
You got to watch what you're doing. You got to play to your defense strength. The flow of the game sometimes tells you how you have to go about winning it. We're waiting for Dak to figure that out because we know Kellen Moore ain't figured it out. Kellen Moore didn't do that. Mike McCarthy did that. That's why I'm mad at Mike McCarthy for letting nonsense go on as long as he did. Because once Dak went down and they said they had to find ways to win games until Dak got back, that was Mike McCarthy calling the plays, not Kellen Moore. Once Dak gets back, what does Kellen Moore do? He gets his gunslinger mode, come right back out doing the same dumb stuff. It's that same game your man called about talking about. When the Cowboys scored their touchdown, they was in a heavy set. They was tight. They do play action. They roll Dak out, score a touchdown. They do what works. They come right back down there in a 2nd and 2. They ain't got one wide receiver, but they decide they got 5 of them and spread them out. And Dak being the soldier, he trying to make a bad play work because he done got used to doing that. And that's Dak. And that's on Dak. When the offense was lit, it's Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore in his bag. When it's trash, Dak is trash. Get out of there. That's stupid. It's crazy. It only looked as good as it looked or as often as it looked because of that. My mama used to tell me something all the time. You say, boy, believing what you see ain't the same thing always as knowing what's going on. Sometimes you got to have some damn sense.
Woo!
You can see, yeah. She told me something else, too. She said, boy, hey, look, I'm going to tell you something. Life ain't about what you find. Life is about what you're looking for.
Woo!
Tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself the truth about what it is you're looking for. Your man, Brandon, don't know him, ain't got no problem with it. He got a right to his opinion, but he told on himself. The only time he told the truth in that whole interview or that whole call is when he said he was tired of Dak, and that's the whole basis of it. So he's did everything looking at what's wrong with Dak.
Right,
so he's made up his mind already. Dak is the problem.
Woo, man.
But go. You better don't give Dak no cup, man. Give Dak a pipe. Fill it up for me, yo.
Appreciate you, man. That's Mark that drive trucks, man. Yes, indeed, man. He was spitting that while he was driving, man. Y'all better watch out and get some fire emojis for him, man. He was the hot caller of the hour right now. Woo! You know. Let that man cook. You know, Brady got some rebuttals, man. He's in the chat, though. He was like, nah, he ain't doing no fire, man. Woo, on a Friday, man. If you heard what that man said today, you don't have to go to church on Sunday. No. It says forsake not the assembly, but man, he assembled right then and there, you know. So when it's time for you to go to church, you can say, man, nah, man, I listened to a guy named Mark that drive trucks, man. I done already did my time for this week, man. Hey, man, he was talking about cup runneth over. He was talking about everything. Man, that man got some fire. You know what I'm saying? Hey, maybe I'll have a round discussion between Mark and Brandon one day when we have the time, man. Ooh, woo. All right, man, let me get my guy, man, from the 206. You in the mix. MJ, you're live.
What up, Law? How you doing, bro?
Hey, man, I'm well, man. Before you get started, man, how you measure Dak Prescott? Is it 4 cups, 3 cups, 2, or 1, or any half cups?
Well, let me give y'all something to all the fans. Brandon, I know you don't like the guy. And you know me, Law, I keep it real. I give everybody a chance, anybody. Ain't nobody perfect. We try to. And the man, everybody got to realize, can't no quarterback do, even Purtle when he started from San Francisco.
MJ, hold on. Go with the flow. Or you got to give me the cup flow before you give your flow. You know, I just need your cup flow first, you know. Yeah.
I'm going to give, you say 5 is the highest?
No, 4 is the highest. 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Okay. I'm going to give Dak Prescott a 4.
Okay, good. Now you can go into your soliloquy, you know.
Well, I gave him a 4 because he came in, dropped a 4th round pick that nobody knew about. even when I went to the first game at the Coliseum, I seen him, me and all my friends in L.A., and I said, man, this kid is turned balling.
Mm-hmm.
And he came in and won the 13-3 record. What been hurting the Cowboys, why we never made it, even when Dak Prescott put up 30 points, our defense was giving up 30 points. So it was a no-win, and then we have Rodgers throwing lucky passes and beat us on the last-minute field goal. You see what I'm saying?
No.
And then we play against San Francisco. Here you go. Video King Raheem. He called the same plays like me and you say our grandmother, auntie. We could put our grandmother, say we at the 30-yard line, and we got to get to the 25-yard line.
Right,
we could put me and your grandmother at the 25-yard line to stop our receivers because we know they running them stupid option routes. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they know our plays. Even the coaches, even the San Francisco players said we knew what plays they was running. Even Tampa Bay said that. The foundation started when Denver did it. Kellen Moore never knew how to call plays against a six-man backfield. We put up 40 against Philadelphia. They would have the baddest defense. They wasn't nothing. Then we played 49ers again, and we lost both times.
Right.
Kellen Moore couldn't even know how to drive down the field to win a game against San Francisco.
No doubt.
Now, if San Francisco get you in the long yardage, you ain't getting them. Now look what then you gotta give Philadelphia credit. Philadelphia seen what Dallas did to the 49ers, but they didn't do what they supposed to, and Philly beat them down.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying, fam? So I'm Dak Prescott, Brandon. You is right now. We ain't got no more excuses because now we got a foundation with a running game, a screen game, and a play action game that's going to help our receivers. Our receivers going to be wide open, Brandon, and you're going to come back at the end of the year, Brandon, and you're going to be calling on here, and you're going to be saying, oh, man, Dak did it, but I still don't want to sign. Once this man win the Super Bowl, Brandon just don't like Dak Prescott. So y'all might as well get it out of y'all mind. If Dak Prescott win 2 Super Bowls, Brandon still ain't going to like Dak Prescott. So he can't win. So for the fans of the Cowboy Nation, we going to be happy. We going to take some Super Bowls of this misery for 27 years.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you, man.
All about them Cowboys and hit them like for the Law Nation. And Brandon, I hope you come to the camp this year because I want to meet you.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, man. That's MJ for the 206, man. All right, man. Appreciate it, man. All right. Facts. All right. I got the 9-10, and I got my guy Aaron. And no. I'm bad 9-10. Hold tight. I got 614 first, man. He was here first. 614, my guy Montana, man. You live.
What's going on, Law?
Nothing to it, Chief.
Hey, I don't got much to say. All I got to say is, for all the Dak haters, man, listen, bro. This man that been through so much. His front office did him just like they did Tony Romo. They waited too late to get this man help. If he was somewhere else, I'm telling y'all, if he was with the 49ers, Super Bowl, Eagles, Super Bowl, Chiefs, Super Bowl, well, all those great teams and so-called great quarterbacks or elite quarterbacks, every fan dreams, drool over. Dak Prescott will be doing the same thing those dudes doing if he would have had the same type of team. He just now got a defense for 2 years. Just now got help. They're just now doing Dak Prescott a service. His first 7 years, they did that man a disservice. For Christ's sake, this man that snapped his ankle in half for this carrying this dang franchise, trying to put it back on and go out there and finish a game. How can y'all hate that man? How?
Yeah,
Just how, bro? And
crazy.
it's always the ones that never did anything in their life. All they did was sit on the couch. You can't go out there and suit up. Not right now. So get that man some breather, bro. Just let him prove himself. Now, with all this stuff going on, and he's still doing the same thing, they're okay. But until that happens, let that man be him. The dude lost his mom. The dude then got news from his brother killing himself. And he still went out there and put up 37 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's remarkable, man. You know.
That's remarkable. What more can you ask from that man? See, me, as much trash as I talk about players, I know those players is good, man. I know these players is good because they made it. I didn't. They made it. I did not.
Man, you on it, bro. Bro, you on it, man. Appreciate you, man.
That's all I got. Go Cowboys.
All day, man. That's my guy, Montana, man. Yeah, man. Football is unique, you know, and it speaks volumes of the way you carry yourself. Shoot, I ain't gonna even lie to y'all, man. I don't know if I had the same energy, man, if my brother was to take himself. You know what I'm saying? I promise y'all, you know what I'm saying? And he better not do it either. You know, if he got some things going on, he better hit me up, you know. But, you know, it's a different type of vibe and a realness, man, that Choctaw just brought to the table. And especially, you know, for him not to break, that's something that low key, that I believe that there was still a guy taking jabs at him for that, right? I think Skip Bayless still was taking a shot at him for saying that, yeah, he needed to bring mental awareness and all of this stuff up. And shoot, not to break, man, I'll fold up like a wallet over here, man. You know, I'll be sitting there like, man, shoot, that's difficult, man. And for us to keep on going and talking about this stuff, shoot, no way, shoot. It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. All right, we got from the 910, you in.
Yo, what up, Law?
What's good with you, dog? Talk to me, man.
Hey, first I want to say, like, I appreciate your show, man. It's so great. I watch you all the time. I may not, like, comment on all this stuff, all that, but I love it because you're a Cowboys fan and you be, like, super posting everything. You be having a lot of good information and a lot of good points. And then the way you, like, look at the people and stuff like that, man, I tell you, it's great.
Appreciate it.
That thing you did on Deuce, I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to give Dak 3 cups, and this is why.
Okay.
You cannot say that Dak is this and that and also great. Yes, he got the numbers, and I support him 110. Number 4 is my everyday Sunday. But it's 15 interceptions, right?
Ooh,
I don't care if you had Kellen Moore or if you got, you know, whoever, the greatest winner, whoever, you know, Patrick Mahomes quarterback coach is. It doesn't matter about that, you know? The thing is, 15 interceptions is unacceptable for any quarterback.
Even with a broken hand, you know, even with a broken hand, he shouldn't be throwing that, huh?
Yeah, you know, but I'm just saying,
right.
So, like, stuff happens and things like that, you know. And what I got to say about Cooper Rush is that I look at him and I compare it to Brock Purdy. When Brock Purdy went and he won those couple games, what's to say that he's going to do for this next season? How are they going to say San Francisco going to be better than us and they got to carry Brock Purdy? So what could we have done with Cooper Rush? But I think ultimately that would have won his job back because he has it. He has the charisma. He has everything. He is a good quarterback. It's not nothing like that, but the way he throws, I hope he gets better. Somebody help him with his throws. His throws are too high. If you look at a lot of passes, a lot of plays, we getting tipped balls and all this stuff because Dak is throwing the ball high. If he just throw that ball center mass, I promise you, we go into the Super Bowl.
Well, let me ask you this, though. You bringing some great points in. It's all about preparation and also not even just leaning on what you already have. Think about the 49ers, right? There's only one person on that offensive line that's a household name. They're Trent Williams. They went and got him out of free agency, right? Or they went and picked him up. They made a trade for him. My bad. They made it a trade for him because they knew that can help out their scheme. even with the reservations that they have now with the quarterback, they didn't just stop there. They went and got a Sam Darnold, right? They also moved a lot of draft picks to pick up Trey Lance, right? And they still have a guy by the name of Brock Purdy. So they got all three of those things in line because guess what they want to do with? They want to get rid of the excuses. They don't want to have that there in the building.
But they got Debo out there. There's no excuse. Debo.
No. Debo at face value is a guy that can't get off the LOS by himself. Debo at face value out of a wide receiver perspective, he can't get off the LOS. It's hard for him to run. He dictates his routes. So what they do in their scheme and system, they don't put him in those looks. They give him the ball in motion, right? They don't have him on hitches and comebacks. They keep him in motion. The body in motion stays in motion. They put him in the backfield. They know how to utilize Debo. If Debo, and trust me, they play a little hardball with him getting his money in his bag. But I can tell you that we got a guy by the name of CD Lamb that's a better route runner, that's a better guy that can get off the LOS, may not be as aggressive as Debo with Yak, but he can do similar things. He's not as built as Debo, but he can do similar things. We didn't see that from this guy, even though he had good numbers last season. We don't utilize our weapons to their max capabilities, but the 49ers do from their philosophy, right?
That's what they say.
Right.
I can't wait to see this season, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be different. Hopefully,
True.
But let me tell you this, Law, and I'm gonna be watching this year with you. If we go and we do the same thing, is it the coach or where do we go from there? Because I'm telling you, as much as junk as I talk here in North Carolina, I cannot go down another season, screaming the Cowboys are this, that, and the third, and we lose,
Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah. I mean, the Carolinas, man, I know, man, that Carolinas itself is becoming a football factory over there, man. So, yeah, you got to hold your ground and and fight all of those fans because it's still a lot of Cowboy fans, right? But it's a lot of haters, though, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of haters. So
But I'm telling you, it's more Cowboys fans in Carolina than Carolina fans because we didn't have no team at first.
Right.
We only had Washington. Or either Dallas. You was either one, no matter what. And then the Carolina Panthers came. The only reason why the Carolina Panthers are going to be hot this year or even is because Bryce came in over here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason. They got a quarterback. Ooh, we're going to see, though.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I saw that little meme of him disappearing behind that offensive line. Yeah, it was funny, man. But man, I can't wait to hear you for this year, man. Go ahead.
Michael Parsons, man. Michael Parsons, he gonna do some good things. I can't wait to go see what we're gonna do with him and our new defense and the line and stuff like that, man. I just can't wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, as big as and excited as I am, is I hate being let down. Like last year, right? The Jaguars, overtime. Dak goes back, throws interception. My heart is broken. How interception? How, Dak? You got the Jaguars. They're nothing.
I feel your pain with that, man, and our only thoughts would be if that's a pass to Cooks, will that be caught now, or if that's a pass to a guy that sees through the catch, would it be a situation? Whereas I promise you, even in the formation of how that play was ran, whereas they bunch formation, they mesh point with CD Lamb, and it was just a crazy play design itself. You're talking about the pick six, that was a crazy play design by itself. I'm quite sure we probably will not even see that play anymore. So, like what Brandon said, there's no excuses for Dak Prescott, and I will give him that cup of tea. So there should be no excuses for the offensive coordinator to come up with a plan like that because he's no longer here.
That's it, man. Well, hey, I'm gonna get off here. I appreciate you, Law. I'm gonna be look for me, Chris Cash.
Chris,
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah,
look for me this year.
We share the same name, man. Hold on, let me save you in there before you don't leave now. Let me put you in here, man. As such, Chris. Yeah, hold on. It got your whole government name up there, man.
I don't care about that. I'm a Cowboys fan.
Let's go, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for calling in. Salute.
That's right.
Yes, man. Chris Cass, man. Good call from the 910. So, we share the same name, man. We share the same name. But neither here nor there, I do agree with, hey, no excuses of the play calling. Look, here's the craziest thing of it all. And I got to be 1,000 with y'all. And Ricardo, you can't trade Dak because there's no trade clause on Dak Prescott contract, by the way. So you can't trade him. So you can't franchise tag him. You can't trade him. And these are the stipulations, too. Let me just bring this up before I let Aaron on. And we ain't talking about Rodgers. Hold on, Aaron. Hold tight. Let me put this cup up here. I'm gonna blow the cup all the way up. Here's the stipulation of these four cups right here. One cup, that means that you don't want to extend Dak Prescott, and you are willing to go through this season and take the $59 cap hit, because this is what's going to happen. You can't extend the money. You can't prolong the money. You can't do nothing with the money but just take the cap hit if you allow this brother to play. But also it comes with this territory. If you don't extend Dak Prescott, you will have less money, so therefore you may lose out on the Trayvon Diggs. You may also lose out on the CD Lamb. You may not be able to pay Parsons, right? So those are the stipulations with it. That's one cup. Now, the other situation would be to go ahead and extend Dak Prescott. The benefits of extending Dak Prescott, it give you more cushion with the salary cap. It give you more money to spread out, to also prorate the money so that other guys can eat. The problem is with that, if you do that, then that means Dak Prescott will be here for what? A longer period of time. A lot of people are right at the end with Dak Prescott, and they would rather for the cup to be empty in order to get rid of him. The problem is when you saying all of that, what the guy said on the audio, well, who you want then? Who you think you're going to bring in for cheap? You for dog sure can't dance around in the free agent market to go get a veteran quarterback, because they are not coming cheap, right? They're not coming in here for coins on a dollar. No, they're going to want some money. And for two, you're going to have a veteran quarterback. Hear me out. You're going to have a veteran quarterback with Dak Prescott still on the roster, because he still got next year, right? He still got up until next year. So those are things that you have to face the music with. So the old saying is cheaper to keep her. You know what I'm saying? It's cheaper to keep him at this point by extending him. That's just how it is, unfortunately. All right, let's go to Aaron from the 562. You're live.
What's going on, Law? How you doing today?
Nothing to it, man. Just chilling.
I can dig it. Man, I say for my cup, I'm with a 4 is the max. I got
4
a
is the
5
max.
for that.
You got a 5.
I got a 5 for that. Extend that, man. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like any other, I don't even know what to say, man, because I don't want to talk about Brandon, because Brandon, everybody knows he's a troll. He's a Dak hater, so I'm not even going to speak on that. But my thing is, I say we should be able to sign all our players. If we sign Dak, if we send Dak, pick up CD Lamb's 5th-year option, and then just, I say, sign Diggs this season, sign CD Lamb next season, and just go on from there. Your biggest bite of the pie is gonna be Parsons.
That's the biggest, that's the biggest one right there.
And then, well, you got 2 more years for Tyler Smith before you get his contract. He's gonna want to demand big money.
Yep.
So I don't know. I mean, yeah, I say extend Dak so we can spread the money out. That way we can get who we need to get.
Man, that's the best way, man, to extend, because whenever you crunch the numbers and you do the numbers, you look back at it and you say, I get it. I absolutely understand the people that have their reservation. It's been going into the 8th season. We haven't made it to the conference championship or what have you, game or what have you, and we haven't made it to the Super Bowl. And we can leave out, like my guy David Lawrence said, hey, well, Law, you're not telling the full story, right? You can leave out the fact that, Jason Garrett was here, right, for those first 4 years, who's been a coach that probably can't find a job anywhere in the National Football League, right? We can leave out that, and then we can add into the fact that, okay, since we had Coach Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott, the overall team record, I think 6-10, 12-5, 12-5. That's not enough, right? But somehow the previous coach, for all of the years that he was here, it was enough to keep him.
It was enough to keep 8-8.
Yeah.
But and like when Dak came in the league, he went to the playoffs his first season. Who did he play? Aaron Rodgers, right?
Mm-hmm.
He lost, and the next time he went to the playoffs, he beat Russell Wilson.
Yeah, he beat Russell. Well, the team, the team, your team, yeah.
Now I just want to, Dak is washed, but he's going up against these you would call them elite or Hall of Fame quarterbacks in the playoffs, right?
I mean, both of them. I think Russell will have a gold jacket, will he?
Yeah, Russell.
Yeah, he'll have a gold jacket.
If he does okay this season, Russell's going to have a gold jacket, man.
Yeah, he will.
As a Seattle player, he's going to have.
I don't have to ask if Aaron Rodgers is going to have a gold jacket for crying out loud. Yeah, he's going to have one.
So Dak is going up against these so-called Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but all these other quarterbacks that don't even make it to the playoffs, they're saying they're better than Dak.
Yeah.
You would rather have. I heard a dude say, "I'd rather have Johnny Manziel than Dak." Now you really smoking that shit.
Yeah, I want some of that. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? The hate on Dak is real because they have no reason to hate on Dak. Like, give me a legitimate reason that you wouldn't want to re-sign. Like, you want to extend Dak to try to make a push for the Super Bowl.
No.
You think Jalen Hurts, bro? He had the easiest schedule. Oh, my bad. All right. Jalen Hurts, when he first came to the league, he went in the playoffs. He got his ass whooped by Tom Brady.
Right.
My bad. Old man Tom Brady.
Yeah. What a difference a year make, right? You know.
What a difference. Got blown out of the water by old man.
Old man Brady. Yeah.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
We supposed to do that. Y'all be the old man Tom Brady. Nah. Keep that same energy.
Mm-hmm.
But when he make it to the big stage and fail, he had the easiest schedule. You have to beat the Giants to get to the next level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Come on now, and then you beat the Niners. Okay, we gave the Niners the toughest matchup we had.
Yeah.
The toughest one. Even injured. It's just crazy how the Dak hate is real when they don't have a legitimate reason.
Well. It is what it is, man. I appreciate you calling in, Chief, man. I thank you, man.
But and Lakers in 7. I'm gonna tell you that.
Lakers in 7, man. Come on, man. Let's go, man. LA, man. Appreciate you, man.
LA, baby. All right,
yes, indeed, man. All right, good call from him. That's my guy, Aaron, man. All together, Cowboy Nation. This was a great conversation, man. We just lost a legend. Jim Brown, I see you guys are saying that we lost a legend. You know, he averaged 5.2 yards per toe. He had 106 touchdowns in his career. And when I tell you Jim Brown, a staple piece of all running backs that ever played this game, he is the ultimate staple piece. I think that he started playing when they had leather helmets, I believe. And they were playing also 8 to 10 games a season, not 16, I believe, during that time frame. And for him to have the amount of production and the average per yards, dare I say, man, you can't, like, when we talk about Hall of Famers, right? It's really Hall of Famers. Can you explain the story of the NFL without them? And the answer about this Jim Brown, you can't explain the NFL without him. You can't go down and say the NFL at its total presence can be explained. You got to mention this guy right here. And for those, man, who were blessed enough to see this man, let me know in the chat. But Jim Brown, a person that I wouldn't mind the NFL, and we talk about numbers and we talk about things of that nature, of how sacred they are, out of the respect of Jim Brown and the legacy that he brought to the table in the belief system that he was able to do, and being extraordinary, right? To not just be a football player, but a movie star, right? That they should take that number 3 and a 2 and not allow a single player in the National Football League wear 32. This dude is the GOAT as it relates to running backs. We know that he didn't play a plethora of years like we seen out of my guy Emmett, and I'll go tooth and nail to fight y'all about my guy Emmett. But Jim Brown is the GOAT. And now he's gone from this dimension. Absent from the body is present with the Lord. And I bet you he probably have an extra set of eyes out there for those who are in need. Because this dude right here brought a lot to the table. Legacy. There are running backs to this day. Still can. Look, when you start thinking about Adrian Peterson on how he ran, literally, I want you guys, I want you guys to look at Jim Brown on how he was able to run. He'll put Adrian Peterson to shame. To shame. To shame. But Sugar Daddy once said I vote for that. Like the younger generations, you know, they probably, you know, it was way before my generation too. But they probably understand, like, yeah, man, it's Jim Brown, man. Anybody can do that, man. Shoot, Jim Brown, man, give me James Brown. But Jim Brown, shoot, this dude is that dude. Yes, indeed, he's that dude. And I don't think, if there's a running back who haven't heard of Jim Brown, I will, shoot, if a running back say, I haven't heard of Jim Brown, and I'm coaching, you know what I'm saying? I would want you to do me a 10-page essay, you know, without Chat GPT on Jim Brown. And you better have it returned to me, you know, by tomorrow. Yes, indeed. He was 87 years young. Yes, indeed, Patrice. Yes, indeed. Jim Brown, that dude, definitely, you know. And you got to understand the time and the temperaments and the era that he ran and played football in, too. It wasn't all easy, you know what I'm saying? we may think it was easy, but no, man. He played football at a harsh time, very harsh time. His whole career was during that harsh time, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so he is that guy, man. Jim Brown better than Bo Jackson. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The NFL need to play, definitely pay a special tribute to him, right? They need to. Yes, indeed. Him and Jordan got the same birthday, February the 17th. R.I.P. to the king. I didn't even know that. You know, February. Is he Aquarius like me? You know, February is, you know, is 17 still in that same time frame. But you know, I tell people all of this all the time, that we only here for a vapor, small seconds of time. Tell me not in mournful numbers. Life is but an empty dream, for a soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not what they seem. Life is real, and life is earnest, and the grave is not his goal. Dust thy art, to dust returneth, was not even spoken of the soul. In his broad fields of battle and bivouacs of life, be not like a dumb-driven cattle, but write this down. Be a hero in the strife. Lives of great men all remind us we can live our lives sublime in departing, and leave behind us footprints on the mighty sands of time. What are you leaving behind? Willie, Sugar Daddy, Juan, D Park, Choctaw. What are you guys leaving behind, BD Gray, Patrice, Topeka? In the sands of time, what legacy are we leaving behind? What will you be known for? And what are you willing to die for? What are you willing to grind for? When they ask the stance and the saying, who are you? When it's all done, when your book is ending and the chapters are over with and people can thumb through it, what are we leaving behind? What kind of legacy we're leaving? Fresh, Ramon, Swain, how would you be remembered? When the end comes for me, let it find me conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one. Swain, he says he's going to leave behind unpaid bills. In some communities, that's a good thing, right? Some people say, man, forget them student loans. I was a student when I got those loans. I'm a grown man now. I learned to leave them behind. Come on with it, y'all. But whatever you may leave behind, make sure that you will be remembered in a good way. Make sure your name will be known in a good fashion. And do your very best. Legacy building. And if you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired, and it makes you all hold everything tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you will gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, or plan for it, and lose all terror of your mind for it, if you would simply, oh just simply, go after the things you want with all of your capacity, strength, and scargacity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold, poverty, or famish, or fame, or sickness of your body or brain can turn you away from the things you want, if dogged and grim and besieged and beset, with the help of Almighty Cowboy Nation, you will get it. I tell you what, in the good book, said a great man will leave inheritance for his offsprings. Some translations says legacy. Some translation says remunerations. But I always tell people that's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. I spend a lot of time here with you all. But no one knows the day nor the hour. Hey, no one knows the day nor the hour. Your time may be next, but for dog sure, y'all know one thing. That this Law Nation boy, he didn't like them Cowboys. No, he loved those boys. Yes, indeed. He do. And I'll be known for, hey man, that Law, I can't stand them sometimes. But dog, for sure. This dude loved those Cowboys. He loved his family. Yes, indeed. He loved the Lord. He loved his mom. Oh, man, he's a passionate guy. Sometimes his cup runneth over with his passion. You can't obtain it. Law will give us 4 or 5 hours. Unstoppable Law. You know, I need to have a shirt that says unstoppable. Yes, indeed. I tell people all the time is measured, yes. The dash is a long one. And as great as Dr. Martin Luther King and the wonderful Malcolm X, boy, they only lived to be 39. The adversary took them. Well, God allowed it to happen. But I'm going to tell you, man, play that music back. I ain't ready to go. Come on, play that back. Yeah. A lot of people didn't realize that. And they was only 39. Yeah, man. Shoot. Dr. Martin Luther King looked like he was at least 60. You know, living during that time, it'll take you through. All right, y'all. Let me get on out here before I talk too much.
Give me my theme music. Damn.
Let's get it.
Damn.
Let's go.
Whoa. Give me my thing.
Yes, indeed, baby. R.I.P. Jim Brown. No more weeping and wailing. He's done with the troubles of this world.
Kind of check or something. I've been really in the field, yeah. I've been really in the field, lot of rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Shout out to you, Action Powell. Appreciate you. Yes, indeed. Life insurance. That's what my guy Pose said. Yeah.
Kind of check or something.
Everybody should have some life insurance that's watching right now. Jay Versi, appreciate you. Washington, Iceberg Q, Matthew, Common Sense Live. Come on. Y'all be sure to check out your policy too. Especially if you got that Cash App policy. Cashing out and then recreating another. Come on. Hey.
Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty. You switch sides off for the bag, and that's what
more than me.
I mix Nike with designer, I experiment.
Come on.
You just rock what's on the shelf, and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, there's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit.
Bruce said he gonna hope he leave behind a trail of haters, yeah. Come on, Bruce. Yes, indeed. Shout out to you, Brandon Ross. Appreciate you. Regina. Come on. Round of applause to the new mod. Hard hitter. Shout out to Sadiq for letting me know. Come on. Hey. Come on. Shout out to you on this beautiful Friday. Hey, wait a minute. Do they got power? Is it back on? Because I thought for sure last week I'm sitting here trying to catch up with power. Is it back running? Because I may go watch Power in a few. Let me know, man.
Kind of check us on. Lately, I just want to run it up. Count that too.
Come on. You better tie it up in a knot. Ramon said you got to pay that water bill.
Lately, I just want to run it up.
5, 4, 3, 2. Get down, dog. Hey, said, hey man, your dog, do he bite? He got teeth, don't he? Come on. Activating the water. What? Boom. Y'all saw that misprint right there. There we go. Get this out the way.
Take a drag of my cigarette. Breathe me out. Breathe you in.
Yeah.
Take a bite of my burger, babe.
Come on.
Save the last bite for you.
And you.
For you.
Yeah. Don't let the street lights hit you. Come on, baby.
You know it's dangerous to go alone. Don't let the street lights hit you. Can I be your
player too? Thank you.
I'll follow wherever you go, whatever you do.
You see, when I was watching Power, Sadiq, it stopped at episode 8. I'm on episode 8. Or I'm on episode 7, something like that. And they tell me they're going to re-back it up this week. So I'm going to watch 8 and 9 or something like that. Hopefully, we'll see what happened. The last episode I seen, They fool around and hit up sacks. I can't stand sacks. They finally got sacks up out of the paint, man. Sacks! That street light done hit sacks. Finally!
If a paper crane can fly, then forever doesn't feel that far.
Boy.
So far, so far. If a paper crane can fly.
That's a legend right there. That's the only time that orange look good with Jim Brown.
So far. If a paper crane can fly. Fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on.
Sacrifice, don't give up the fight. Everything will be alright on any given Sunday, yeah. Depend on you if you win or lose. You know you got to pay some dues to live on Monday, yeah.
As we land the plane, one love to all of you all. Thank you for flying.
You have to.
With Law Nation's Air Force.
When things are really tough and they're really rough.
American
Nothing's working.
Law Nation Cowboys.
Something inside of you that says,
Shoot. American Airlines better not give me a sponsor. Shoot. Come on. Hey, let's go. But then again, American Airlines, hit your boy up. That would be nice. Law Nation Airlines flying to you. They be like, man, that plane on Neverland, man. Law Nation be going forever, man. All I wanted to do is fly from Dallas to Houston, and I'm still in the air. Hush your mouth. I fool around and fly y'all beyond the ice wall. Come on.
because you don't know who you're going to meet.
You one ticket out of here, huh? I'm gonna give me some airline drops in a few. DC for life, not for short. Until next time, salute.
Like this mother don't miss. No, he's good. That motherfucker don't miss, man. He's good. In the heat of battle, he don't miss. No. In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.